Welcome in episode 6 of the Travis Dufour Show. My name is Travis Dufour, aspiring comedian, former independent wrestler, and without further ado, my co-host, Mike Yatsko.
Yeah, you dig it, Daddy.
Yes, we are in episode 6 of the Travis Dufour Show. This is the traveling episode. Very straightforward, to the point. We're going to be telling stories about places that we've been, interesting places. You're going to get some funny stories, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And Mike, I mean, how exactly do you want to start this episode?
Well, man, I hate to brag, but I've been all over the place. How about you? You a traveling man? Have you traveled in your time?
Okay. As far as traveling goes, nowhere outside of the United States. Have you ever been outside?
I have. As of 2018, I finally left. Well, actually, that's even before that. I've been to Toronto a long time ago, many years ago. Toronto a couple of times. Yeah. And then I went on a Caribbean cruise in 2018. It was a 14-day cruise, and probably touch on that a little later. But yeah, so I got to go out and do a couple or several different islands on that trip, and got to really experience life outside of the U.S. But other than that, no other places. But those are still cool experiences.
That's cool, man. I'm a very prideful American, so I refuse to travel outside of.
Oh yeah. It's American only, huh? American made only, huh?
Just so you learn a little bit about me, Mike. I do only fly Delta. That is America's #1 airline in the world.
You know those Funko Pops behind you are made in China, correct?
Is that a fact? We want to be
sure that on air sign that you're holding right now probably has a little sticker somewhere on the bottom that says made in China or something to that effect.
Okay.
So I wouldn't get too gung-ho on the patriotism stuff, because pretty much everything in our rooms was made somewhere else.
And that's one of the sad facts of life.
That actually is one of the sad. That's not what this podcast is about, but that is a sad fact that not very much is made here anymore. Although, you know what is made here? Because I'm in the process of moving right now. Where my fiance and I were moving from Chicago, Illinois to Strongsville, Ohio.
Okay.
Well, actually, I live in the suburbs, not in Chicago. I don't live in Chicago anymore, but the suburbs of Chicago, to Strongsville, Ohio. And I noticed that on the moving boxes that we bought, it actually says that our moving boxes are made in the USA. So I was like, oh, finally, something American made. We can make cardboard boxes.
Yes,
at least we can make something.
I like a little bit of patriotism on the show, man. I'm glad that you're bringing it.
Hell yeah, man. So yeah, USA made. USA is sponsoring our move, and I'm very proud to say that. However, our packaging tape that we're closing our boxes with, made in China. So you can't win out. You can't win out in every respect. But as far as the traveling stuff goes, man, did you do any traveling as a youth? Did your family go anywhere in particular? Even did you guys do very much as a child?
Whenever I was a kid, we weren't like the traditional American family, going on the camping trips and whatnot. The trips for me as a child was going to my grandma's, which was all due
grandma's
respect,
is the best. Everyone loves going to grandma's house.
Absolutely. And it was in Grampian, Pennsylvania. And with all due respect, it was 4 hours away. So as a child, felt like,
probably felt like a day or more.
Yep. Yeah. And Grampian, Pennsylvania is like the perfect retirement town in America. There's less than 1,000 people.
It's Grampian.
Grampian.
So it literally pretty much almost says grandpa in the name, almost.
Yeah.
So I would imagine it's a great retirement area.
Yeah, but that was the extent of my traveling as a kid. And that's why.
What did you like to do at grandma's house?
Sure. Oh man. Well, I was only there, a couple times out of the year. Your Christmases, your Easters.
So going to grandma's was a big special thing. This wasn't like an everyday thing for you or every week. This was a special occasion, something you look forward to, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that really makes you appreciate your time with your grandma too, because you only Yeah, get to see him a handful of times. And a little fun fact about Travis Dufour. I only had one grandparent my whole life, and that was my grandma.
Really?
My mom's mom. Yeah.
Grandma Dufour. What did you call her? Just call her grandma?
Well, she was a Fleming. My mom's side is the Flemings.
The Flemings.
Yeah. I'm sure she got fucked with in school.
I never knew that about you, the Flemings. That's an interesting name.
Yeah, that's my mom's maiden name. What was your question?
My question was, what do you like to do? What would you do at your grandma's? What kind of things would you do there? What'd you look forward to? Was she a good cook?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, shit, I don't even know I guess that's the German side of my family. You know, we cook German food.
What is German food exactly? I don't even know what German food is. Was that bratwurst?
I'd be happy to tell you. That's hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Macaroni and cheese.
A good old ballpark Frank.
Yeah, that's the exact brand. Are you German?
I am. I'm part German, yeah.
No, to be completely fair, I don't really know much about the heritage and all that. I mean, there was good food growing up and all that other happy shit. I didn't really get to spend too much time in Grampian, Pennsylvania, but it kind of gave me a love for small towns. Oh, yeah. Oh man, there's nothing
small
like
towns are great.
Hey, and you know, and it's kind of like there's good and bad things. Everybody knows everybody, and that's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes you just want to be left alone and not be bothered. But I guess in a small town, that's not as easy.
No, yeah.
And everyone always knows your business and everything. Like everyone knows what's going on. Like, oh, did you hear about so-and-so?
And you know everybody's whole family. I mean, anytime that I've been through that area with my mom, she'll like point at a house and there's where Bonnie and Guff lived. And I knew their uncles. Their uncles lived on the other side over here. And I'm like, you fucking knew everybody, didn't you?
My fiance's extended family on her dad's side is very similar to that. They live in a very small town in Canton, Illinois, and there's pretty much nothing to do there. There's a little town square with like some local shops.
There's the fair, the county fair.
There is a little county fair or a town fair, whatever they do. They do a little parade every St. Patty's Day and
parades in small towns.
Yeah, they do the parades and they got their own little things. But generally, you can drive through the town square in about 30 seconds. Like you drive through it and it's over. Like you blink and it's gone. So everyone's all up in each other's business and that's all they have time for. Like the time just stands still. Like I know when we come to, they're amazing people. They're very friendly folks, but
oh yeah,
we go there to visit or whatever. And it's just, they're not in a hurry to do anything. Nobody's in a hurry to make a decision. Nobody's in a hurry to go anywhere. And like us city folk, even though I don't live in the city, I don't live in Chicago, but I live in the suburbs. So it's a faster paced thing than they have going on. We're just sitting there like, okay, are we ready for the next thing? Like who's making the decision? And they just drag their feet. So it's always an interesting experience going there and living the small town life. But
it's a nice
peaceful though.
Pace. Yeah, it's
for sure. And you know what though? There's something to be said about slowing down because I think we move too fast in this day and age. And I think that most of us could use that slowing down in our lives. So, and I think there's something to be said about that small town.
I guess that's the old saying, stop and smell the roses.
Stop and smell, exactly.
So if you listen to the fucking Travis Dufour show, you just got your inspirational quote of the week.
Hell yeah, man. Well, that's the show. No, that's it.
Take it home, brother.
Take it home. So tell me about like your first, you have any travel stories then? You didn't do much traveling as a kid, looked forward to trips to your grandmother's house. When was did you have any type of trips or anything you want to speak on?
Well, I guess my first major trip is New York City.
New York City. Oh, the Big Apple.
Yeah.
What went on in the Big Apple?
Well, my best friend Gary was in college and he got a hold of me and said, "Hey, my college does a yearly trip to New York City and it's open to the public." I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, I knew I shouldn't have went to college. Like I can just fucking do this without college.
I had no fucking clue.
No fucking clue. So I pay I believe it was $40, dude, to and from. The program, you'll hop on the bus, they'll drop you off in the city. They dropped this off at Times Square.
Yeah, Times Square is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts seeing all the big? When did you go? Is it during the day or nighttime when you saw Times Square?
Oh, morning. So
Morning.
you're getting onto this bus at about 5 a.m., 4 a.m.
Yeah, and so you walk into Times Square and you're just seeing everything, how large it is, and just the big signs, the LED boards, and all that stuff. Like, what thought went through your mind seeing all this shit?
Well, you're a similar age to me. You remember Total Request Live, TRL?
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of see where they taped that at.
Oh, so okay.
Dude, listen.
Did it feel like a big deal though?
No. Oh my God. I mean, I grew up in West Virginia. Really haven't been outside of my box. This was a real chance for me to experience a big city and really take it all in. And dude, oh man, it was like a wonderland to me.
Yeah. Because I grew up in a small town too, so I always dreamed of like what it would be like to be in a big city. So like I would always dream about New York City, Chicago. Actually, not Chicago as much, even though I ended up moving here. But Los Angeles and New York City were the two cities like I gravitated towards and was always very curious about, and that I wanted to live in one day. And it was actually my goal to live in Chicago, LA, and New York City at some point in my life. And I failed at New York City. I'll probably never live there, but that's okay. But LA at least happened. LA
never
happened.
Say never. Hey, now would you be okay with telling the audience your age?
Yeah, I'm 30. Shit, how old am I? I'm 32.
Dude, hey, never say never. You can live in NYC.
Oh no, I definitely could, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. I'm in a different stage of my life now than I was. Like when I was in my early 20s, I was gun ho about traveling, spreading my wings. I want to go here, and here. I want to live in all kinds of places. And now that I've lived in some places, I kind of just want to settle down. Like I just want to be somewhere, settle down. Nothing, no crazy places like New York City or Chicago or LA. Nothing crazy. Smaller town vibe. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for peace and quiet.
Okay. We're gonna stay on New York City, okay? Yeah. But just tell the listeners, where would you retire to? Because that's an interesting question in itself.
Where would I retire to?
Come on, man. Final city. This is it for you.
If I was going to pick any place on earth that I was going to retire to, it would probably be the Smoky Mountains. And specifically, it would be the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Tennessee area. So
love Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee is amazing. I've never been anywhere except the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area, but it's a big tourist area, big tourist town. In fact, I've been there on a trip 3 different times now, and I even brought my family down there one year in 2019. I brought my whole family, my mom, siblings, aunt, cousins. Like I just brought a whole bunch of people down. I mean, they obviously paid their own way, like gas or whatever, but I bought the cabin and everyone came down, had a big family trip, and now they love the Smoky Mountains too. But that whole area, it's a big tourist town, and lots to do, tons of restaurants. And
just a sidebar about Tennessee. Whenever I went to Tennessee to wrestle, the first thing I noticed was how dirt poor, cheap, trashy. It reminded me so much of West Virginia, and I was like, yes.
Well, we didn't experience that part of Tennessee then, so the area we were in wasn't like that. Well, because like I said, it was a tourist area, so everything looks pretty nice. But yeah, I imagine there's some areas like that for sure.
Hey, they're everywhere.
Oh yeah. Ohio's got them. Well, Illinois definitely has them. Chicago, the whole fucking city is a war zone. So
I remember being on the bus going to New York City, and the bus has to take all kinds of routes on the way there. And I remember passing by some like towns in New Jersey, and it looked just so run down. And I was just like, oh, maybe my home is everywhere.
Was that intimidating for you? You said you grew up in a small town, West Virginia, being in a huge city like New York City. Is that overwhelming for you, or how'd you take it?
I guess whenever you grow up and you see all these movies in big cities and you just see big city stuff on TV and all these other places, whenever you're growing up with nothing, very, very poor I was, I always kind of had that urge to see what's more, what else, like what the fuck else is out there.
Yeah. Gain some experience.
Yeah, so like as soon as we come off the bus in New York City, I'm immediately looking around. Me and my best friend Gary, we didn't have a plan. We wanted to go with the flow. There's no like landmarks that we're looking for. We're not trying to go to the 9/11 memorial or anything like that.
Yeah.
What we end up seeing, I'll go ahead and list them off to you now. We end up seeing the Lego store.
Lego store. That's pretty cool.
They had a dragon that was made.
Do you collect Legos? Do you collect or build Legos?
I was so poor as a kid. I went to one of my friend's birthday parties and he had Legos fucking everywhere. Like expensive ones, like the alien ones and shit. And I went home and I was like, Mom, my birthday is coming soon. Maybe
give me some damn Legos. Yeah.
I mean, and my mom was a very honest parent. She told me right then and there. She was like, now you know goddamn well.
She's like, son, that is not happening. You know that's not happening.
And that was just like my mother with that Southern accent.
It's a very, I don't know why. I always want to use the Southern accent when I'm talking to someone else because it just sounds right. It sounds right.
Like, I totally get it, but like, dude, I'm not Southern.
I know. I don't know.
But my mother is.
My thing. Your mother's Southern. She's got that Southern hospitality.
No, but hey, man, whenever I get into a big city, my it feels like my soul is flying.
So you feed off the energy.
Yeah. And now I want to go ahead and make an announcement on the show too. In the description for the show, it does say aspiring comedian. So I kind of want to give that
aspiring. Sorry.
Well, I just want to say I want to give that sentence a little credibility by saying whenever I was in New York City, I did fuck around.
Oh yeah,
I did something kind of stupid.
You had some unprotected sex?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you said you fucked around. Okay, sorry.
No. What I'm saying, I mean, I think I was 20 years old at the time, and just to give you some insight, I don't know. I wasn't a very attractive ginger. I don't know. Let's not go down that road. I'm in fucking New York City.
You don't sell yourself short, bud.
Hey, man, the cops almost got involved in on this one. I'm in New York City with my best friend. We're walking around block to block, and we see in the distance there's kind of a crowd gathered. I'm like, okay, what is that? And it's protesting. So I was like, hey,
what?
Yeah. So I walked up to him and like there was people holding signs and shit, and they were saying that they were mistreating the horses that were carrying people throughout the city and stuff.
I heard that same shit when we visited New York City. The same protests were going on.
I don't stand for that. I got right in the center of that group, just weaseled my way in. I got dead center, and I threw up my hands. And I was like, hey, I got something to say. So everybody stopped talking for a second. I had the floor mic, and I said, we need to stop treating these horses like they're fucking horses. I was like, everybody here's dumb. And I started walking away.
Did anybody say anything to you?
My best friend Gary was pissed. He was like, dude, do not do that to me again. He was like, I was going to have to fucking fend for you.
Oh, he thought you were going to get into a fight?
Oh, there was people yelling and shit. They were like, fuck you, man. And like, this is a serious issue.
We're being super serious. It's super serious stuff, man.
But that's the thing about comedy. You have to take risks.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I can't believe that you had that encounter too. So what year did you go to you go to NYC for that?
It's probably like 2008, 2009.
2008. So we went 10 years later. 2017, I think we went, and then we also went to 2018. So we went 2 years in a row for our anniversary. We heard it both times when we went to like the Central Park and all that stuff. You know, we saw a protest and people were saying stuff, and whatever. I mean, I don't know. I was there for a few days. Not my monkey, not my circus. So
no, and you know what? And a lot of people over the years, because of my platform, because of how being an independent wrestler kind of does make me a public figure. People approach me and they're like, "Hey, Travis, do you want to fucking do a show for ALS?" I don't even know what that is. And I tell them no every time because I'm honest with people. If I don't know what your cause is, I mean, it could be for cancer, it could be for the fire hall. It could be for anything. I just don't do it. AIDS. I just don't do it. Because I mean, and I'll probably change my stance in the future.
Yeah, you selfish son of a bitch.
No, it's just I don't even remember what my fucking point was.
I don't do charity. Fuck that. I only do stuff that benefits me. I don't do that charity bullshit.
No, I'm just saying I have to be passionate. I have to be educated about whatever I'm vouching for.
Yeah, of course.
But let me tell you the best part about New York City. At the very end, right before there's a designated time. You have to be back at the bus. They give you about 8 hours to roam the city. Be back at the designated time, back on the bus, go back home. So it's about an hour and a half away from the time that we have to meet up. And we're on the other side of New York City at this point. I look at my best friend. I'm like, we should take the subway. We go down into the depths of New York City to the subway. And
did you meet any characters on the subway?
No,
it's pretty low key.
No, I don't even really believe any like homeless run-ins or anything like that.
Huh. Well, you got lucky.
But we're trying to get back. And so we're looking at the map and we both don't know how to read it because we're both dumb. There's
so you're thinking you're going to be late, right? You're going
to we have a little bit of leeway time. So we go and hop on the bus. My buddy says north. We have to go north. We go north. We should have went south.
Yeah.
So we end up going north. We come off of the subway. We're walking up the stairs. We are now in the open area of wherever we are, and there's no tourists around, and there's really not many people. What?
Yeah, not where you need to be, right?
Dude, a cop notices us. A cop runs across this intersection and goes, hey, do you guys not know where you are right now? And we were like, no, we don't. Please tell us. And it was seriously like
you're gonna die.
Well, it felt like time stopped, and he like looked around and was like, "You're in the Bronx." And I was like, "Dun dun dun."
Oh shit, the Bronx.
Like, fuck me, not the Bronx.
How do we get out of here?
I know that J-Lo's from the Bronx. Like, what's so bad about the Bronx?
Or is it just like it was a bad part? Is all of the Bronx bad, or is it just like a bad part of town?
Fucking beats me. This cop made me feel like I was seconds away from getting murdered.
Interesting.
Seconds away.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
He guides us back down to the subway. We get back on, get back to the bus. We head home. Cool trip.
Well, at least
one thing that real quick, one fucking thing I really regret. Everybody and their mother that I talked to about this trip was like, do not bring anything expensive. Don't bring cameras, camcorder, nothing. I fucking wish I did.
You wish you had brought a camera?
I didn't run into any trouble my whole time there.
Yeah, well, I don't think I ever brought like a camera, but we had our phones though, so that was their camera.
And plus, let me just put it into perspective. I'm a 6'5" ginger. How many people are gonna fuck with me, dude?
Although you were there in 2008, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the camera phones were not impressive.
Obama was our president. It was a much safer time in the...
Things were good then. Things were good.
I was making so much money.
Things were so much better when Obama was president. Oh, my God.
So it was about that time. That was phenomenal. Good shit.
Oh, man. So in New York City, did you eat any good food there? Do you remember anything tasty?
Finally
any street vendors or anything?
No, I didn't trust that shit. I finally had some.
You gotta take chances.
No, I had some authentic New York pizza.
New York slice, huh? What'd you think?
Dude, I'll just never forget the burps that I got afterwards because it felt like they used real ingredients and it was like a real pizza.
Was it greasy? Like, did you pick it up and just grease was just spilling out of it?
You had to fold that shit. It was New York pizza.
That's a New York pizza for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had a good food experience.
Yeah. I love New York City. New York was a good time. I've been to New York City a few times, as I said, or more than a few times, once or twice with my family. We just went for a few days. We went to see, the normal sites, all the touristy shit.
Going to Broadway, right?
Broadway, of course. Yeah, but the Broadway. Phantom of the Opera is my favorite show. So anytime
Did you catch any stand-up comedy?
No, I've only seen stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, actually. Well, that's not true because I've seen a show here in Chicago too. But nothing.
You should have checked out that New York scene. That New York scene.
Yeah, there's. I did not even think to do that then. So, but was very much into the Broadway stuff. I saw Aladdin on Broadway. I saw Anastasia.
You saw the Robin Williams in person?
No. I wish. I wish.
Who the fuck was playing his character?
I saw Robin Williams, his star on the Walk of Fame in L.A.
Just right after on it.
I did actually, but
a
lot of people left flowers because
I know you, Mike. You fucking stepped on it.
You couldn't actually step on it because it was blocked off and there's so many flowers there. That was actually right after he committed suicide. So
okay, never mind. Yeah,
you probably didn't. A little touchy subject there.
No,
I stepped on it and I smashed it. I'm like, good riddance. Good riddance.
Oh my god!
And I just spit on the flowers. No, I'm sorry. No,
that's probably the most intense thing you've ever said on the show.
I'm sorry. It's only going downhill from here. But no, man, New York is a good time though. Yeah. So Phantom of the Opera, I've seen that show on Broadway probably 4 or 5 times now. Aladdin and Anastasia were both also good. Oh, we went to a place called the River Cafe. Very expensive, fancy restaurant.
Where's that at?
The River Cafe in Brooklyn. It's actually right next to the Brooklyn Bridge. And it's also right next to this carousel that used to be in Youngstown, Ohio, at this old amusement park called Idora Park. And so this carousel that you could ride or whatever was bought, refurbished, and transported to New York City. And that's where it lives now. So that's a piece of Youngstown, Ohio history sitting right next to the Brooklyn Bridge. And I don't know if people can ride it. I don't know if it's just for looks or people can ride it, but I just thought that was pretty cool. Piece of Ohio.
You never drove up to it?
Tried? We did not drive up to it. I think it was too late for that. So it was like, I don't know, it was like 9 p.m. and it was not open.
I would have still, even 9 p.m. See, that's the difference between growing up in Ohio and growing up in West Virginia. I would have fucking drove up to it.
Well, I regret not doing that. And I think in a future trip to New York City, I'll probably end up doing that. So check that out. But the River Cafe was right there. And I want you just to guess how much my dinner cost. So I went with my fiance. It was our anniversary dinner. How much do you think? Let's just say, how much do you think the total bill was for 2 people? And I'll just make it easy for you. I didn't have any alcohol. She might have had 1 glass of wine, so it was just food.
Okay, one drink.
People. But they did charge. But it was a fancy restaurant, so we drank pop most of the time, soda, whatever you want to call it, and they charged you by the bottle. So every time you got a Coke, they charged you for every bottle. But okay, so what do you think the total bill was for 2 people at this fancy restaurant?
Okay. So if I know Mike Yatsko the way I think I do, cheapskate. Let me kind of. I'm sorry. I'm kind of thinking out loud.
We're live, pal.
Sorry. Let's say $27.
A little bit more than that.
Just a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it was probably 37.
I'll just go ahead and tell you. The total bill with tip was $500. $500. I wish I was kidding. The tip alone was $100, and the bill was like $400.
What year was this?
This was 2018. We went twice, 2017 and 2018 for our anniversary. We went 2 years in a row.
So you were tipping like that before the pandemic.
Oh yeah, it was typically Well, yeah. Now post pandemic it's a different world. I just slip him a $5 now, but that was actually part of the bill. You had to pay 20% gratuity, so I had to pay the 20%.
Oh wow, you follow the rules, don't you?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to break the rules of this place. Oh, you saw that you had to wear a suit and tie. It's one of those places, and ladies had to wear a dress. It was a several course meal. So they served us all kinds of shit. We got to eat duck liver, which is called foie gras. Is what it's called, foie gras. Oh, so the guy comes up to us. By the way,
fuck that
foie gras. The guy comes up to us at the beginning of this dinner, and he was just like, "Hey, is there anything you guys won't eat?" And I'm just like, "Well, I mean, we're adventurous. I guess we'll eat stuff, And then he's like, "What about foie gras?" And I was like, "Foie what?" Dude, I felt so out of place at this restaurant. Like, we looked at all the people around us, and they looked in their element, like, rich, fancy people. And I'm just like some kid from Ohio that grew up in this town. And I'm just looking around like, oh, I don't belong here. These aren't my people. But
did you grow up poor?
I wouldn't say poor, but we definitely grew up like on the lower end,
Okay. Yeah. Then whenever you find yourself in a situation like that, it is kind of like a culture shock.
Oh yeah, definitely culture. Yeah. So I wasn't around any of that stuff, any of that fancy stuff. And, but it was a special occasion, a special anniversary dinner. I would never spend that much on a dinner for any other reason. But, yeah, they brought us all kinds of stuff. The duck liver was actually pretty good. I had bone marrow for the first time. Have you ever had bone marrow?
Yeah, no, I've never had cancer, so no.
I've never. Okay, well, bone marrow. I thought I was eating. Okay, so they brought us out these bones, right? And it had the stuff in it. The bones were like cut in half. Had the stuff in it. Kind of resembled mashed potatoes, and actually, that's what I thought it was mashed potatoes. So I'm just eating it. I'm like, wow. And I tell Kristen, I said, wow, these mashed potatoes are really good.
It's brain.
Yeah. And then they come out and I was just like, hey, this was really good. I thought it was just like a cool way to serve mashed potatoes in this bone. And they're like, oh, well, that's bone marrow. I'm like, bone marrow? What the fuck is bone marrow? Yeah. I also tried oysters for the first time, which always scared me, but they were phenomenal.
No. So can I ask a question there? Oysters and sushi, is it kind of like the same thing?
Well, I mean, they're similar.
I've never had oysters.
They're similar in that they're raw. Oysters are the slimy thing. The oysters, they bring them out in the shells, but they prepare them in an interesting way, and it was actually really good. It was, and oysters is an aphrodisiac.
So that helps you.
Oh yeah, it helps in the bedroom. Yeah.
Oh, does it have to be in a bedroom?
It doesn't have to. It could be anywhere you want. It could be in a porta potty if you'd like.
Okay.
I mean, you could make it as fancy as special as you want.
Do you know what Bartley is?
I do not.
That's that little like lettucey looking little piece of shit that comes with like your steak. You know what I mean?
Little piece of shit.
Did they serve that with your thing that you said you ate?
No. They did bring us steak though. Oh no, they didn't. But they did bring us like steak. Everything was like tiny ass portions, but there was like 8 or 9 courses. It was just they brought them out one after the other. They did bring us steak at one point, but it was just like these little pieces. Dessert was a Brooklyn Bridge made out of chocolate.
Ooh.
So it was chocolate pieces that resembled the bridge, and then there was a bunch of different garnishes and all kinds of very fancy. And then on the front of the dessert said "Happy Anniversary" because I told them in advance, it was an anniversary dinner.
If I was working there, I'm a cook and all that, and they come to the door, knock on it and all that, and they're like, yep, somebody fucking ordered a Brooklyn Bridge. Like, that's my least favorite thing to make. I'm pissed.
My least favorite thing. No, that's actually their that's like their signature thing there.
Oh, okay. So they're probably making it all the time. The cooks don't mind making that shit. Dude, yeah. Being a cook at a high profile, high dollar restaurant, it's gotta be pretty stressful.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. I mean, I've never been a waiter at any restaurant. The closest I came to it was I worked at a Pizza Hut. That was not a waiter position though, but I could never do anything like that.
Yeah, let's jump into a city here. We're done with New York City. Go ahead and give me a interesting
I was actually
city.
trying to find the photos of New York City real fast.
But, okay, yeah. Let's guys, remember you can watch the show, the Travis Dufour Show, on twitch.tv/the Dufour brand. So we're live every Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for season 1. There will come a time where we're not live anymore on Fridays because season 1 will end.
We're not going to be live anymore?
Dude, eventually until season 2.
I got you. Let's see. So I'll share my screen here.
Oh my God, that is the most beautiful picture of the Statue of Liberty I've ever seen.
This is the most beautiful photo.
Holy Toledo.
I'm actually trying to find a photo.
Is it really big though? Like whenever you're standing in front of it, is it fucking massive?
It's pretty
like
big.
A skyscraper?
It's pretty big.
Would you compare it to the anxiety of seeing like a skyscraper?
Yeah, I would. I'd say so.
Okay.
Yeah,
hey, that looks okay. So let me describe this picture for the people who are listening. It looks like Mike went to a theater. Is this a theater?
It is a theater, and it's actually for Phantom of the Opera.
Very cool. Phantom of the Opera, very nerdy. What's the Phantom of the Opera about? Just quick.
Just to sum it up for you, Phantom of the Opera is about a man, a monster, whatever you want to call him, who falls in love. He's deformed. Yes.
Okay.
And he wears a mask to hide his deformities.
It's Kane. It's
gotta be Kane. And he falls in love with this woman named Christine Daae, and Christine also happens to like this other guy, Raoul. So it's kind of like a love triangle situation. And the Phantom, he knows he's like not a good looking guy, so he knows he doesn't have that, but he does have this bond with Christine through music, and it's a very nice love story, and it's a fun watch. Good music.
That sounds very 60s peace and love hippie shit.
I guess
this when it was written.
I don't know if it was written in the 60s. I forget. Oh yeah, that's Kristen and myself.
Oh, that's a good picture, man.
It actually isn't a bad picture. I like that one.
Yes, we will clip this up for YouTube so everybody knows what your personal life looks like.
So everybody. So it's a beautiful theater.
That's cool,
here's Times Square.
Yeah, at night. I never got to see it at night. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, my fiance was just apparently I took the same photo like 3 times in a row, but always got to get the best one.
I know. Yeah, that is
my fiance was just so impressed with Times Square though.
Yeah. I was hoping to run into a celebrity at some point, but you don't really see celebrities walking around New York City.
I ran into a celebrity a few times in Los Angeles. Justin Bieber, I saw him down the street being bombarded by paparazzi and some fans. I was
tell us your Andy Dick story. You met Andy Dick, didn't you?
My Andy Dick story? I don't have a fucking Andy Dick story. Never met the guy. Oh yeah, she was very happy to see. Yeah, lots of photos of my fiance.
That's cool. You have a beautiful fiance. I'm not trying to do nothing.
Are you hitting him? No, I'm just kidding. No, thank you.
No, she's not in the room. If she was in the room, you'd know.
This was breakfast.
Look at breakfast, everybody.
Those are my scrambled eggs. I made those scrambled eggs.
You personally made your own scrambled eggs on vacation.
Hell yeah, I make a mean scrambled egg.
That does look good. All right.
We got some dinosaur bones. Oh yeah, I forgot we even went to this museum. You ever been to a museum and looked at dinosaur bones?
Yeah, so there's a museum in New York City. Of course there is.
Yeah, I don't remember what this one was called though.
And there's a real dinosaur bones.
They are real. Supposedly.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second.
Allegedly they're real.
No, yeah, I don't believe it for a second. You're not going to let human beings get that close to something that's billion years old.
I was dressing all snazzy for that fancy dinner. I guess I wasn't shirt and tie, but
so
you did have to wear a jacket though.
Who's your tailor?
Who's my tailor? The DXL. Yeah, Destination XL. They were my tailor.
Okay, and that's a store.
That is a store that anybody can access. This is actually not a bad photo.
You have quite the knack for photography. One thing about Mike is that he has an Instagram. If you guys want to follow it, the Fig Fate.
Yeah. I just do figure
very
photography there, and I'm also at my personal profile. I don't post a lot to it, but if you want to follow me at Essentially Mike, and then there's also the Fig Fate one where I do a lot of the figure photography. And yeah, I mean, photography is fun. It's a good time. Oh, so
Check out Mike, guys. He is a passionate mother lover.
I finally found the restaurant photo. So yeah, so the River Cafe was actually on the river, and you got the view of the city.
River.
Yeah, that's why it's called the River Cafe.
Okay, now
tables are really close together.
Look at that. Okay, hey, I could get down on that. I love experiences like that. These kind of like little niche things to do in the big city. You're on a boat. You're getting to see. You get to take in so much. You're eating your food. What are you eating, man?
I'm about to show you what I'm eating. Oysters. There they are.
I was about to say this show is about to get very graphic.
This is about
to go off the air.
If you don't like oysters, well, don't turn it off. You gotta keep listening. Gotta keep watching. But
this is phenomenal.
The oysters were actually very good.
They look disgusting, to be clear.
I gotta say, we got some cool photos of the outside. It was a beautiful, very romantic.
Yeah, and did you talk to these other people who were eating?
Not even one time. Not even nobody.
They look nice.
Nobody acknowledged that we were there. Oh, what was this? I don't remember, but that's a little shallot, an onion, shallot. I like how that.
So you ate an onion, huh?
Yeah, I think that was fish, maybe. That was my fiance.
Well, that's great. Were you making an ass out of yourself? Were you fucking getting loud at your table around all these rich people?
Oh, this is the foie gras. This is the duck liver. This is the foie gras, which I actually liked.
I'm not gonna lie, it does look good aesthetically. It looks good. Looks like a mini steak.
And then that's the steak that they gave us. It actually looks bigger in the photo, but they were real small pieces.
Not bad, man. Not bad.
But and here's the dessert I was talking about, the Brooklyn Bridge dessert.
Wow! And you could eat the pieces of the bridge there.
The entire thing was edible. The entire thing. The little happy anniversary message.
Let me ask you this, Mike. Have you ever ordered from Edible Arrangements?
I love Edible Arrangements.
Nuh-uh.
Actually, just ordered Edible Arrangements for my mom, my fiance's mom, and also my grandma. I do that.
That was a joke. I didn't know where it was going, but then you're saying that you do use it.
Oh, I not only use it, but I'll buy myself Edible Arrangements sometimes just because I love the fuck out of some chocolate covered fruit. So,
okay.
Well, you were about to make fun of me, and now you can't, I guess, or maybe you can. I don't know. Another photo from outside.
So, New York City. At the end of the day, does it have a special place in your heart?
Yeah, we've been twice now. 2 years, a couple years celebrating our anniversary. We had some great memories. Got to go to the top of the Empire State Building, the top of the Rock at the Rockefeller Center. I mean, just all kinds of cool stuff. And we're probably going to go back again, just probably not for at least a couple years, 2 or 3 years. But yeah, I'd love to go back. It was
New York City is definitely a place I definitely want to go back again. It's a number of cities that you go to throughout your life. Maybe it's like a one and done deal, but New York City, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, New York's fun, very hectic, a lot going on there, but it's a fun place to visit. And that's why I was saying, like earlier, things just move too fast there for me. Yeah, I could definitely, there's still plenty of time in my life where I could move there. I just have no interest in doing that anymore. So
it was weird, man. A lot of people like actually physically touch you in New York City. At the time they did whenever I went. I don't know about now. But
you should talk to somebody about that, like the police or something. They're not supposed to physically touch you.
It's just weird, man. Like that was the first time I was in an environment where people were kind of, like if you got into a area where there was a bunch of people going in one direction, there might be somebody who touches your fucking back.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because I'm a man. If they were a woman, if I was a woman, wouldn't have happened.
Of course. Never would happen.
Or maybe it would have. But
do you think you'll take the lady there, maybe your daughter there at some point in the future? One of these years?
Absolutely. New York City is one of the cities I would take my daughter to. We'll talk about Atlanta later. I would never take my daughter to Atlanta.
Well, no. Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Well, I mean, New York City, I went. There was no problems. Atlanta, I've went, and I've seen good bit of crime.
Yeah.
happening out in the open, you know?
I actually found because this is from the second year. You know how I told you we went to 2018, so we basically did the same course thing all over again. So we had the oysters all over again, the fog wall all over again.
Back on the fog wall, are we?
Fog wall. I can't get enough of saying that. The fog wall.
No, it is. It looks delicious. What's the pickle looking thing with it?
The pickle. I think that was a leaf of some kind.
Oh, great. So you fucking eat that too?
I did not. I did not eat the leaf. Now I was trying to see if there was anything significant from New York City, but that's pretty much it as far as anything worthy of showing.
That's
so
cool,
interesting place New York City is. Oh, dude, I don't know if I should go into this, but actually New York City is special for one other reason for me personally.
Oh shit, we gonna knock this out now?
Should we? Maybe I'll briefly touch on it here, but I think it's also going to make it into our scary stories episode as well.
Okay, fair enough.
And maybe I'll dive in deeper there, but I'll just briefly touch on it. So in 2015, before I met my fiance, 2014, I was on a business trip in New York City, and my client asked me to come there. They were doing a big launch for an app or whatever. So they brought me in to work for a couple weeks, and I was going to work in their office, which I was doing that. And my birthday happened to fall on this trip. So like right in the middle of this trip, my birthday was. And my client said, "Oh, you want to go out and celebrate? You want to go have some drinks, cut loose, have some food or something?" So I said, "Sure, let's go."
Let your hair down.
Let your hair down. And we're eating. I got to have some steak shawarma, which was delicious.
Oh, dude, steak shawarma. I've had steak shawarma so much in my life. Let me just tell you, steak shawarma.
Are you serious?
Nah, I've never heard of steak shawarma. What is that?
I thought we were about to have like a moment where we could relate. Steak shawarma is like really, really good. But
what is that stew? Is that what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't. It's like a sandwich basically. It was like a bunch of steak grilled and put into a pita with some other stuff, and it was pretty good.
I'm down. I like it.
Yeah, and so throwing back some drinks. My clients buying me drinks, and so I'm not.
We doing mixed drinks. We're doing beer.
I think it was beers. I think we did a couple shots, but it was mostly beers.
Now, at the core, are you a beer guy?
I'm not really a drinker. Well, I mean, at the time, I take that back. At the time, I would drink. But the thing with me was I wouldn't drink to have a couple beers. Like, that wasn't fun for me. I would want to drink to get shit-faced because that was fun for me. I don't know why.
You sound like me a couple episodes ago. One's not enough. 18's too many.
Well, one, there's just no, what's the point? Like, I mean, we're not, like, why even bother is like my thing. I want to feel something.
Yeah. Let's have fun.
Especially me at the time. Like, I was 21, 20, or not. No, I think I was like 23. But I was still, early 20s, like still wanting to party a little bit.
That avenue in your brain where you want to experience that partying and stuff, that's open at this time.
Wide open at this time. Yeah, wide open. Right now it's so close.
See what your fucking limit is.
Fuck yeah, I do. Every time I want to see what my limit is. But anyway, my client says, "Oh, let's stop at a convenience store, grab some more beer, and we'll go to your place," because I had rented an Airbnb on in New York somewhere. I forget where. What's the Wall Street? On Wall Street, actually.
Wow.
So I rented an apartment on Wall Street, and we went there, got the extra beers. And he said, "Oh, well, I'm going to, since this is your time here, your first time here visiting." But he meant visiting his company. He's like, "Well, I want to treat you. I want to order some weed." So he's like, "I got a connection. Let me just make a phone call, and I'm going to have some weed."
Stop. Well, hold on. How do you know him?
He's my client, but
you're doing business with him.
I'm doing business with this man, but he's taking good care of me on my birthday. And yeah, so it was an interesting predicament.
So man, that is interesting. And oh man, I've never had a job where my boss was like, "Hey man, let's fucking meet up this weekend. Maybe you can help me move some furniture."
Yeah, this was the only time this has ever happened for me.
Offers me joint. No, dude, this is crazy. Okay, continue.
But yeah, so he's doing that. He wanted to go even further than that. He was offering for me to come on to his trip to Colombia, I think it was.
I thought you were gonna be like, "Are you scared of needles, Mike?
Are you scared?" do you like a little? You like to party, bro? No joke. He was into cocaine though. So
okay.
And he wasn't like trying to pressure it on me or anything, but he and a couple of his buddies in the tech industry like to go to Colombia or somewhere in where the finest and freshest cocaine is available. And they were trying to get me to go down there and, experience it. They were just like, oh, I don't even know if I should be saying all this on air. Well, I didn't specify the company or the client name, so we're good. But he was just like, oh, there's hookers, we get some girls and get some cocaine. And I'm just thinking, I'm a pretty traditional dude. Like, I'm not too crazy. Like I drank and stuff, but I'm not a crazy party.
Yeah. Like you like movies about this shit.
Yeah. I like to watch movies about people going crazy. I don't want to be a part of it. Like, that's all. Damn. And he was just like, oh, there'll be girls there. There'll be cocaine. You have a good time. And I'm just like, I don't know about this. I didn't end up doing that trip. That was a bit too much for me. Cause I'm okay with like weed and, alcohol, but cocaine and anything, he wasn't doing anything more than that. But I mean, cocaine is pretty bad.
The PESAs for drugs whenever we were kids, they worked because I was fucking scared of hard drugs.
Oh too. Yeah. I mean, I was scared of that shit. And not only for that, I don't even feel like I need that stuff. Like, I'm not curious about it. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to die on cocaine just to experience what it feels like. Fuck that. Like, yeah. So so back to the story of, so I'm drinking. Now we're mixing a joint into that, smoking and drinking in this apartment. And so I'm going to go open up another beer because I'm thirsty. I'm a thirsty mofo. I'm a thirsty bitch.
Absolutely. Hey man, Mike thinks it's time to party.
Hell yeah. It's time to party. So I'm going to grab another beer. Now I realize these aren't the twist off beers. That's a problem. So I need to find, I like the twist off caps, a good twist off, a little simple twist.
What? That's the most basic ass alcoholic I've ever heard.
Dude, I wasn't an alcoholic. I was just someone who liked.
Oh, that was an intense term. You're right.
But so I need a bottle opener to open this beer, right? So at this point, though, I'm pretty drunk. Like, I'd say I'm pretty drunk. Like, I'm.
Okay. Are you at the point where a bottle opener is kind of a dangerous tool for you to have?
Yeah, but I wish I had found a bottle opener. That would have been the best tool to use. So, drunken me is searching through this drawer looking for a bottle opener. And then I find this fillet knife pulled out of the drawer. And I'm like, okay, I bet I could use this fillet knife and maybe like get it under the cap and like just, I mean, where the camera is, just kind of, like pop it off. Just like
fillet knife.
I found a fillet. Oh, very
sharp.
Very, very sharp.
Sharper than usual knives.
Oh, very, very one of the sharpest knives in the drawer.
So what the fuck happened?
So like, I'm thinking that I'm just gonna pop the cap off with this knife, and I get it right under the cap, and then my very first time, I only tried it one time, arm just came up and went, it hit my eye, and I just start seeing drops of blood come out of my eye.
You see it with your other eye?
I see it. Well, obviously not with my, not with the other. Yeah. So with the other eye, I'm seeing some, a little bit of blood, like just come. And now my eye is like shut. So here's what I think happened in the moment. In the moment, I'm thinking, oh shit, I just cut my eyelid.
Okay.
I better.
Yeah. Best case scenario.
Okay. I cut my eyelid. I'm bleeding a little bit, obviously, because it was so fast, dude. I didn't feel anything, and I'm drunk too.
And I mean, and to be fair, you got a pretty good buzz going.
Yeah, pretty good buzz. A little bit of weed. So it's anything that I would have felt probably was very, subdued, basically. Because
let's put it this way: the cops would have to tase you twice, probably.
Oh yeah. So anyway, I know something's wrong, but like, I think I just scratched my eyelid. I'm like, oh, I just scratched my eyelid with this knife, And my buddy's like, oh, you're bleeding or whatever. And I'm covering it a little bit and my eyes closed. And I'm just like, oh yeah, no big deal, man. Hey, I'm feeling really tired because I was tired. I was drunk. And I'm just like, why don't we call it a night? I'm going to get a nap. And he's like, okay, cool. Whatever. He's like, well, I really think he's like, why don't we go? Like, should we go to take you to a hospital or something? I'm like, no, it's nothing. I just scratched my eye or scratched my eyelid. It's no big deal. So he leaves, after a couple more times of saying, oh, we should go take you somewhere. I'm like, no, not a big deal. Go.
He's pretty persistent because he knows that you're fucked.
I think he knew something was wrong, but like, he can't just like insist. He's like, well, fuck, I'm staying. Like, I'm asking him.
Hey, dude, that's one of the things about being an adult. Hey, if another adult man is telling me no over and over again, fuck you. Then I'm leaving.
Well, I mean, I'm drunk at this point, so like, I don't even know what. And I'm like I said, I'm also assuming it's not that bad. It's just, I cut my eyelid, no big deal. So he leaves. And I have the place to myself, and I pretty much crash, and I go straight to bed. I don't investigate. I don't do anything. So hours go by. It's now 3 a.m. I guess I'm telling more of the story than I thought I would, but so it's now 3 a.m. and I wake up from my nap and I open my eyes and I'm seeing out of the one eye normal and the other eye pitch black.
That darkness. Would fucking, oh my God, my heart would drop.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so what I was doing was like, I thought I was just like not awake all the way. So like what I was doing was I would cover up my good eye and like I was looking out the window at a bright street light and I couldn't even see a hint of light, like darkness. And I'm just in my head, I'm like, fuck. Like I'm thinking
that's one of the major senses. It's like,
no, I know. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm now my brain's jumping to the next logical conclusion. Okay, I got some blood in my eye and it just dried a little bit and I need to go wash my eye out. There's blood in my eye.
There you go.
Okay. Still thinking the best. Good. Still thinking we're good. We're golden at this point. So I go into the shower and I actually go to take a full shower. So I'm in the shower, take a full shower.
Yeah. Dude, at that point, fuck that. Full shower.
And I rinse out my eye and I get out of the shower, realize nothing, not even a hint of light.
Still.
And I drop to my knees and I just start like a fucking baby. Just started. I don't know if I cried hysterically. All I know is I dropped to my knees and I just remember saying, fuck, like that. It was basically my acceptance of my life has changed forever.
No, yeah, that is your body, your mind, your soul's response to thinking, knowing in that moment that your life is going to be different after this.
And there was something in me that like someone was with me, maybe they would be like, oh, maybe the hospital can fix you up. There was something in me that just said, this is permanent. Like you have done something bad. And this is when I started to piece together what had happened, because at the time I thought so I was like, okay, I didn't just scratch my eyelid. I actually stabbed my eye with this fillet knife. I ended up finding the knife and it had a little bit of blood on it. Fast forward a little bit to the hospital. They end up doing, surgery on me to repair the globe. My family, by the way, my mom and grandmother drove 6.5 hours from Ohio to New York City that night. And they made it there within 30 minutes before I was about to go into surgery.
Whoa, my mom would never do that for me.
They jumped in the car right away and they came because they, going into surgery, it's a big deal, I guess. And I remember the doctor just looking at me very serious and he was just like, so I just want to explain the goal of this surgery. We're just trying to save your eye. And I'm like, well, save it. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm just like, what do you, let's get on the same page, doctor, with what does saving the eye mean? He was just like, there's a chance that we're going to have to take your eye out. And I'm just thinking, fuck.
Like dude, wouldn't it be fucked if he handed you the catalog? Be like, start looking through these.
He was just like, do you like any of these? You like this? Want to find a blue to match your other? Like, I don't know, but I'm just
outline. Yeah.
So now in my head, as I'm being rolled to the surgery room, I'm in my head like, they're going to take out my eyeball. Like, there's a possibility that I'm going to wake up with one single eyeball. Dude, can you imagine, like, with all those ideas and thoughts going through your head, like, and you're about to get put under?
I can't at all.
So they end up putting me under for the surgery. I do the surgery. Afterwards, I wake up and the surgery went fine. They were able to save the eye, so I got my eye. But he said, we were taking a close look, and he was just like, you like pierced your cornea, went straight through. He was just like, you came so close to hitting your retina. He was like, and just to explain, the retina is paper thin. Like, had you have pierced your retina, it would have been game over for that eye. But apparently I
Whoa.
didn't. So it was God was on my side in some way that night, you know.
Wow.
And I could still see, like, if I closed my eye, I could still see the computer screen. I could see you. I just can't read anything on the screen. Like, there's no words that I could possibly make out at all.
Wow. Hey, man, take what you yeah.
Oh yeah, because dude,
Yeah.
way better than Pitch Black. And because even the time after that, like the weeks and months after, it was still pretty dark. Like, it took me months and months to get vision back. Like, it was down and out. Human body is pretty amazing though, man. Like, they did not expect my vision to get back to where it was. That's and also not only human body, but modern science. I mean, the hospitals are pretty good. I got to give a shout out to the doctors in New York City and LA. You know, I went through 3 surgeries on this eye, my left eye. And
I just want to tell the real quick on, just to kind of be the devil's advocate. Fuck the healthcare system. I'm in debt right now. Like, I'm literally
that side of it. Yeah, for sure.
I'm in collections right now for a COVID test. Do you know how much this COVID test cost?
They were supposed to be free, I thought.
$5,000.
No. $5,000 for what?
For a COVID test.
A single test or many?
I questioned the fuck out of the collection agency, and they made calls. They figured it out. It's because of a COVID test.
That has to be an error somewhere. Somebody.
I'm disputing it. Well, tune in later on the Travis 24 show to get an update on that fucking story.
Yeah, definitely dispute that shit. Damn.
Yeah. But guys, this is the travel episode. No, did you put a bow on that story?
Yeah. So, like,
you good?
I'm just saying that was a crazy time in my life. I've learned to move on from that, and I still think about it a lot now. Like, there's definitely days where it still affects me mentally. Like, there's a lot of days, and in fact, that whole 2015 year, very dark year for me as far as, like, you know, dealing with shit. Like, just a bad year, but I bounced back a lot.
Like an icing on the cake moment for you.
Yeah, and it was a valuable learning. It actually taught me a lot. It was a valuable learning lesson. I was kind of getting carried away anyway, like, you know, just with a bunch of things that we don't need to get into on this particular podcast, but maybe another episode where it makes more sense, we'll talk about it. But yeah, it's just, so yeah, that it was just a very interesting thing that happened in New York. It didn't ruin how I view New York. I still love New York because it wasn't New York that did it. It was my stupid decisions. And definitely. Oh, so now the running joke in my family is people buy me bottle openers for my birthday and Christmas and shit. So I'm going to get bottle openers for the rest of my fucking life because they're like, oh, make sure you take this with you on your next trip, you know? Like, oh, very funny. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to be getting bottle openers for the rest of my life. But yes, that was my, my year. It was 2014 that happened in New York City. But I've been back several times since then and still like going back. And I plan to in the future.
And your eye looks real good, man. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. Well, what I was saying, what I was gonna say to put a bow on it was, well, it's really a touch on your point with the medical system. I fully agree with, like, the medical system and the billing and all that. What I was just speaking to was, like, the skill set, the skill level, and the talent of these doctors nowadays, like, and the technology available. Like, I don't know. I feel like years ago, like decades ago, I wouldn't have had the same care that I did. So I'm grateful.
Thinking about how many people who have had added years to their life because of a procedure. So
oh yeah, for sure.
Very cool. Props to you, fucking doctors.
Yep. Although I didn't end up paying those bills though. That's what was funny.
Nah,
I never like, you know, well, my insurance covered most of it for all the surgeries. Insurance covered a good portion of it. But, you know, the places, they always send you a bill of, like, whatever's left, whatever the insurance company doesn't want to pay for.
Sure.
And I dodged those, like, and I never paid. So, and they just eventually went away. So just word to the wise, you just ignore your problems and they'll go away, people.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. No.
No. Are we going to talk about Hollywood at any point tonight?
We are going to talk about Hollywood.
Hell yeah. Can we do that now?
We want to move it on.
Oh, I love
actually,
Hollywood.
It's a good segue because after the whole incident in New York City in 2014, I was living in Los Angeles at this time. So my trip to New York City was traveling from LA. So right after that whole surgery happened, my mom and my grandmother, they went back to Ohio. I flew back to LA and I ended up living there for another 6+ months. But dude, yeah, I moved there to move in with our buddy Glenn. And on a whim, it was 2013. I wasn't doing very much. I just had a business venture kind of go belly up in that year.
And to be fair, this is probably where Glenn wanted to move more so than you, because he is a filmmaker.
Oh yeah, and he was there long before me, so he was already there, settled, in an apartment. And he and I kept in touch. And then one day I was just messaging him and saying, "Oh, I kind of don't have anything going on anymore. My business venture that I was doing with my partner kind of fell through, and looking for something new. I kind of wanted to get out and spread my wings. I didn't want to be in Ohio anymore." And he just kind of talking back and forth, and I threw out the crazy idea of like, "Oh, what if I moved in with you?" Or I'm just throwing some crazy idea out there, and I ended up talking about it more, and ended up becoming a reality. And I remember my family, they were shocked. They couldn't believe that I was going to California. They just thought that was a crazy thing. Like, are you sure you can handle that? That type of thing. I was like, "Well,
yeah,
fuck yeah."
That small town mentality.
Yeah, they're like, "Dude, that's not just the next state over. That's California. That's all the way on the other side of the country." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going." And
you can't have a bad night and drive home.
there was actually people, friends and family, who didn't believe me. Like until I actually finally left, they did not believe me that I was actually going to leave. So
well, how old were you?
I was 22 or 23.
Really? You're okay. Yeah, you're about that age. Okay. But even like knowing everything that I know now, I'm 33 years old now. If a 22 or a 23-year-old came to me and said some shit like that, I'd be like, okay, well, I'll see if it happens.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see it when it actually happens. But
Hollywood, man,
it did happen. Yeah, I lived right in Hollywood. Like I lived on Hollywood Boulevard was right at the end of my street. So I lived on a street called Sycamore, and you walk 2 minutes, and then there's Hollywood Boulevard. There's the Walk of Fame. There's the Chinese theater. There's all the big landmarks.
One of my favorite System of a Down songs mentions Hollywood Boulevard. And the song is pretty much about how, Hollywood will use you and abuse you and throw you away.
Yeah. That wasn't
Did you, Mike? Did you get used and thrown away?
No, but I also wasn't really in that world. I wasn't in the filmmaking world. Although I think it must be like just something that just feels right when you're there. Like you just get in the movie making mindset, because when I was there, I started to want to make movies or be a part of the movie making process in some way, or even if it was just helping somebody else make their movie, like help Glenn or whatever. And we actually did film some stuff. We filmed a TMZ thing where he pretended like I was this billionaire designer, or maybe it was a millionaire designer. I don't remember. Millionaire designer doesn't pay his bills, and Glenn just followed me around with a camera and asked me why I'm not paying my child support and that kind of stuff, as if I was it's a stupid video. But
to be completely fair about what you were saying earlier, I've known you for a long time, and I know that there is a deep creative side to you. So whenever you found yourself in Hollywood, you did. So was there ever a moment where you wanted to tap into that creative side? Maybe try to make something. Well, you did side things with Glenn, but did you ever
side stuff? Yeah, the creative juices were flowing in LA. And then, in fact, one interesting story about when I moved there was I moved there with pretty much no money. Like I took a serious chance, and like being in my early 20s, I didn't realize how serious of a risk or chance I was actually taking. Like I think about it now, and I'm just like, oh fuck, that's scary. Like, why would I do that?
The economy wasn't doing the greatest.
No, and you really shouldn't just move out of state and somewhere you've never been with no job and also no money to your name. That's not like a wise decision that I would recommend to anyone. But yeah, I moved there, and by the time I moved in with Glenn, had everything unpacked, I had $300 to my name. Wow. $300 was all I had, and rent was coming due in 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I was gonna have to pay Glenn half of the rent, so I had to come out guns a blazing. Just right. right from the get-go. I had to find work.
And did you get a job?
I didn't get it. Well, I found clients. So like I would just not spam, but like I would put in tons of hours and trying to find work, and I eventually did find some projects. But to go with what you were saying with the creativity, like I was getting involved in all kinds of projects, from, design projects that I was already doing to some movie stuff, just anything I could do for fun. Like I did one of Glenn's projects. He was working on a film, and I did the end credits, like I designed the end credits, nothing, not a big deal, but it's just, fun stuff like that.
That's still very cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was all experience stuff, and it was all for fun. So yeah, just
somebody who's kind of
contagious.
Somebody who's like trying to be in the industry, and somebody who's like made films and stuff like that over the years, using my creativity in different avenues. Just because you did it like an end credit, like that probably took a lot of creativity and a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, definitely. Yeah. Anything takes time and some, definitely knowledge and experience. But I'll say I missed that aspect of it, of how contagious it was. Like everyone there was grinding and doing something. Like everyone had a thing. They were either trying to be an actor, trying to be an editor, trying to be a director, trying to be something. They were trying to be something creative. And it was just fun to be a part of that type of.
So it was
atmosphere.
you, Glenn, and who else lived there?
It was just me and him living in that apartment, but we also knew some other people. So we knew the neighbors, and
so you knew some actors, maybe.
Yeah, we knew some people who were aspiring actors.
Did anybody ever do anything?
Like anything noteworthy?
Yeah.
The one guy I know, Peter Dobson, he played the Elvis in you're like, oh my god, Peter Dobson. Yeah, you probably won't recognize the name, but Peter Dobson played Elvis in Forrest Gump.
Wow, you met him.
So it's a small thing, but kind of cool, right? Like, and I'm also friends with him on Facebook.
I just revisited Forrest Gump not long ago. Dude, can you get him on the show?
I haven't talked to him in a very, very long time. I sometimes leave comments on his Facebook posts, but I'd have to reach out and ask.
I'm just showing him a thing or two on the guitar, man. That was his exact line.
Yeah.
I want to get him on the show so I can go line for line with him.
It was a pretty cool. We ran into him at a record store, actually, because Glenn was just like, oh, the guy who played Elvis and Forrest Gump? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, he's about to be here. I'm like, oh, you know him?
So you start marking out like you're this guy's fucking biggest fan. He really touched you.
I've been a fan of his since day one.
Okay. But see, okay, so you're living in a decent area of Hollywood. How's the homeless? How's the crime?
Dude, homeless is crazy in LA.
Even near you.
Not. Well, actually, yeah. It wasn't crazy near me, but there was definitely homeless people. I actually gave a homeless guy my watch one day. It was $150 watch that I bought at Kay's Jewelers once. And like, I don't know, this is actually a weird story to tell here on this particular show. I'm just going to say it anyway. Like, this was around the time that I had started to find God. Like, I've always been kind of a God-fearing man, believed, but like, wasn't so sure, but didn't take it too serious. But this was around the time where I really was just starting to find God and like have a relationship and that kind of thing. Sure. And so I just remember
been there, brother.
I just remember having, like, I was walking down the street and I saw this homeless guy and I had no cash on me. And I was just like thinking, like, hey, what could I give this guy? Like, and there was just something in me that said, just give him something.
You're like, fuck, what would God do?
No, I wasn't going, what would Jesus do? Channel my inner Jesus.
All right, I am Jesus. What would I do?
I'd be like, sir, I'm Jesus Christ. I'm giving you my watch. He's like, sir, you're more crazy than me. Get the fuck out of here. And no, I don't know. This is probably going to sound crazy. I don't know if you've ever experienced anything similar, but I literally felt something come over me that said, give him your watch. Like there was something in me that just stopped me because I had walked past him a little bit. And so I turned around and just said, give him your watch. And I actually liked this watch. It was but it was a $150 watch. And so I just turned around, took it off, and I just walked up to him and said, hey, man, I don't know. I don't really have any money on me, but I have this watch. If you want to pawn it or something, you're more than welcome.
Did you give him the receipt for it? Tell him where it was from?
No, I didn't know.
He's like, I'm going to go pawn this motherfucker.
No, I didn't do that. But I gave him the watch and then I walked away and I'm just like, I just gave him my watch. Like, I'm just thinking, like, why did I do that? I don't know.
You're
I have no
what
idea.
Time is it?
And I'm just like, fuck, sir, I need that watch back. He was like, he's like, I'll sell it to you for $300. Like, fuck, I hate this economy. I hate this economy. Fuck inflation. But yeah, I don't know what came over me that day. But anyways, that was a stupid side story. But yeah, the homeless issue was
just real quick. One of the earliest episodes of Jerry Springer was a guy hooker. And I guess he had been hooking since he was about 9-10 years old in Hollywood. And nice. He was near, I don't know. I'm not gonna say he was near where you were living because I don't know where you lived. But dude, did you see any like really weird shit? Like, like weird like that?
I don't know if I saw anything like that. I'll tell you one thing that we did experience a lot of is the smell of piss.
What?
It smelled because, when you're homeless, it's not like you got access to bathrooms. I mean, sometimes you might get lucky and wander into a business, but homeless people would just stop on the side of the road, whip out their dick, take a piss on the side, right on the sidewalk, take a dump right on the sidewalk. And I mean, until someone cleans it up, that's just where it sits. Like,
and you're a photographer. Are you trying to get the best shot?
I've never once tried to get a shot of that, but
okay.
I do remember walking. So this one homeless guy was really weird. Like, I thought I was going to have to fight him because I was walking on Hollywood Boulevard. It was like early in the morning around 7:30 or 8 a.m. The sun had come up. I don't know why I was walking. I think maybe I was exercising or something. I was just walking around and this homeless guy was like following me and like walking real close. And he was just like, hey, what's good? But like real close, like real up in my, and I was just trying to like zigzag and like try to get away from him. And he kept following me. And I was like, dude, are we about to have a fucking problem? Like, I'm not a confrontational guy. I'm not a confrontational guy. I don't fight. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't yell at people.
Just hearing you say that threw me off.
Yeah. But all I know is I just saw red and I was ready to murder this guy in the street. Like, not literally murder him, but like I was ready.
Dude, you don't know what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to do, but then again, like I was just trying to establish that whatever you're doing, I'm not going to tolerate it any further. So end it right now, or I will end it. Like I didn't care, and he did back off because I apparently I was at least intimidating enough to let him.
And dude, and I mean, and to be fair, Mike, you've got 7 years in Taekwondo. You're ready to fuck this guy's world up.
I was ready, bro. Like, I mean, Taekwondo, like judo.
You took Taibo too, didn't you?
Taibo and the karate.
Yeah, Mike's cardio is unreal. You guys wouldn't believe it.
Oh fuck yeah!
Just because of Taibo,
I could run a mile faster than anybody.
but man, that's crazy. That
weird stories.
Physical.
And I also, random story, but weird situations where like I'd be walking in like somebody would try to act intimidating or whatever. Like, oh, there's one guy that was making fun of my weight. Just randomly in the street.
Homeless.
Yeah, just a homeless guy. Yeah, homeless guy. It was just being.
It wasn't a tourist. Like, look at that fucking guy.
So weird encounters like that. But the homeless situation wasn't crazy where I lived. You want to know where it was crazy?
Okay.
It was what do they call it? Not Death Row. What do they call it?
Death Valley.
No, not Death Row. It's something Row.
Death Valley, brother. It's in Nevada.
If Glenn's listening, maybe he'll tell me what it is. But I forget what it's called. But anyway, it's basically like we're all the homeless people. It's basically like a homeless person theme park.
Is it? That's an interesting way to put it.
I mean, you got your needles, you got all your draw. There's this party for everybody. There's amusements for everyone. But yeah, there's just tons. There's a row of just tons of tents and homeless people everywhere. Glenn and I would actually drive. So our favorite thing to do was at nighttime, we would drive. I can't believe we would do this in my Jeep too, because my Jeep was kind of a piece of shit at the time. But we would drive down to this, very bad side of town and drive past all these tents and kind of drive slow. And sometimes I would like fuck with Glenn and roll down the window a little bit on his side just to scare him. And then he would roll it back up or whatever. We would just have fun scaring ourselves and making our hearts race. Seeing our hearts race being amongst the homeless.
Like, look at these fucking animals.
They're just walking by like zombies, like.
Dude.
But,
and I mean, you
that's
grew up
killing
in
me that I don't remember what it's
Ohio.
called. It's not Death Row, but it has Row in the name. Skid Row. It's called Skid Row.
Wow.
Skid Row.
Wow. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I might do the same thing. I don't know.
Dude, I liked. I always had a sense of adventure like that. Same thing in Youngstown, Ohio. Had a nickname of Murder USA or Murder Capital USA, something like that. Used to be a very bad area. Well, it's still kind of a bad area. A lot of it is.
Yeah, I get Baltimore, I believe, has that now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's only an hour outside of where I live.
Well, we would get our kicks by actually going for drives in the worst areas, like in the worst neighborhoods. One time we actually found some trouble, which I don't know if we ever thought these through. Like if we ever actually got into a bad situation, like it would be real bad. Like I don't know. We didn't really think these situations through. But
and you don't carry a piece with you. You don't carry nothing.
No, nothing. No,
I was taught at a young age to well, not at a young age, but after I became an adult, somebody told me a little tidbit. This is something for the show, for anybody who needs self-defense help. I don't know. Carry a lighter anywhere that you go. And if you feel like you do have to punch somebody, put the lighter in your fist. That way you have a much less chance of breaking your hand.
Interesting. That actually is a pretty good tip.
Dude, if you don't have, like, if you're getting fucked with and you're like, oh God, there's no baseball bat in my car. There's nothing, but there's a lighter. Bam. Use that, dude. Fight your fucking way out.
I'll keep that in mind. I try not to get into any fights if I can avoid it.
The older I get, absolutely.
But we were driving in Youngstown this one time in the bad area, and then we'll get back to LA. But driving this bad area, and we just saw headlights come behind us, and so this car was following us. And so, like, I'm not driving weird or anything. I'm just like, he's following us, no big deal. But I start to see that he tries to get on the side of us, like he would try to like get on the side, and then I'd speed up, and then he would get behind us, and so then I see a second car pull out from somewhere, and then I see them try it again. So he tries it again, tries to get on the side of me, but this other car speeds up behind me, and then I'm like, are these guys working together to try to like stop me somehow?
Fuck.
Because it seemed too it was very coordinated. Like it was
they are.
Well, yeah, that's and I'm just like, and I have my brother with me, maybe a couple brothers with me in the car.
No.
And I think a couple of their friends. And I'm just like, oh fuck! I think that
you got like fucking 8 people in your clown car.
Yeah, we got pretty much. And I'm just like, I think we're in trouble, guys. We got to get the fuck out of here. And I just floor it. And I went past a couple. I floored. I ran. I didn't stop for a stop sign. I ran 2 red lights. They were following us for a while, but they didn't. Once we ran through the stoplights, they stopped. And
they're like, whoa, this guy's mugging, dude. Like, chill.
We were just trying to fucking rape you, bro. We're not going this far. It's not worth it for a piece of ass, bro.
God.
But yeah. So we managed to live to tell another tale, or live another day or whatever. But yeah, it was a very weird situation. Everyone in the car was freaked out, and we were like all breathing heavy because we couldn't believe what happened. And I was just thinking to myself, well, if I get pulled over, cop pulls me over, I'm like, listen, it was either we go through the lights and the stop sign, or potentially I could be getting murdered right now by Big Bubba. So no, thank you.
Yeah, because Big Bubba wants to murder your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
and strip my vehicle of its tires and my wallet.
Strip you of your virginity.
Strip me of whatever I've left. But
yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So we would go looking for trouble, in LA, wherever we go.
Nothing like that's ever happened to me. Thank God.
Are you the kind? Are you even like that though? Where you kind of go looking? Have you ever gone looking for trouble?
No. Any kind of damage I've ever done is mostly personal. I usually target myself.
Oh,
just no,
instead of other people.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's much better to do the damage on yourself. You learn that from your alcoholic father. No, I'm just kidding. So
you know what? One thing I will say about Los Angeles, though, the most amazing weather I've ever seen. I mean,
okay, so that's kind of your style there.
Sunny, 75 degrees most of the year. Like, in the middle of winter, it would be 75 degrees and sunny, and it would almost never, and I mean almost never rain. It would rain like one time every 3 or 4 months or something.
Oh, and you'd
Some
love
crazy shit.
Just coming out there with all that air pollution that they're known for, just smelling that fucking air.
You know what's interesting about I always thought the air actually smelled fresh there, but I do. Yeah, there is air pollution, but my experience there was pretty good.
Jeez.
But the weather was amazing. Yeah, except for the summertime though, brutal. Gets over 100 degrees. I'm trying to think if I touched on. Oh, LA is also everyone is living a healthy lifestyle there. So I dropped 95 pounds while I was living there.
Wow.
And actually got into some decent shape hiking up Runyon Canyon, and I always wanted to bump into a celebrity there. But
well, real quick. So you lost that weight. Do you think that you were just becoming a product of your environment?
That was a big thing because, like, I wouldn't say like there was no fat people there, but I would say the ratio of fat people to skinny people was way different than any other place I had lived. Like, you could tell that health was the name of the game in Los Angeles, and so, like, I don't know, it just felt right. Like when I would go grocery shopping, I'm like, well, I'm gonna get this healthy stuff, eat clean. And I did. I dropped a lot of weight and it felt good, felt amazing. I was at my peak, I was able to go on the elliptical for over an hour and a half straight, no problems. I mean, my cardio was amazing.
And it's just because you're surrounded by all these juice heads.
All these jacked up people. And but eventually I fell off the bandwagon where we started up again on our diet just recently, Kristen and I. But yeah, I gained all that weight back after about a year. After that, gained it all back.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. We talked about your age earlier. You're still at a pretty, if you wanted to make a change or everything like that. I'm not trying to dive into all that, but yeah, you got time.
And we're trying to get into it and get a rhythm going. So hopefully we stick to it. And then the only final thing I'll say about LA to put a bow on it is, dude, weed was legal there. I think maybe it was just medically, but I ended up getting a medical card, and it later became recreationally okay too. But you could actually get weed delivered to your house like a pizza. Like,
I just think that's crazy,
dude. It was crazy because, like, especially when you get there and your mentality is weed is illegal, you're going to get in trouble for smoking weed. Like, that's your mentality and that's all you know. And then you're coming to this place and I felt so stupid. Like, my first transaction, I felt like I was doing like this under the table. Like, I didn't know if I was supposed to have the money folded up and like kind of
like it feels like you're walking into the
like I'm waiting for
adult store for the first time, buying a fucking
buying a tape or whatever. Like,
kind of the same anxiety.
No joke. I was like looking around to see if like a cop car was going to pull up out of nowhere and just be like, "We got you. We knew you would try this bullshit.
Tase him,
get him." But yeah, so that was a cool thing. Like, one of my brothers is really into that. So I would send him photos of like my bounty that I would get and he would be really jealous. So
very nice. Very nice.
LA was fun though. Would you ever go there? You actually were going to go there. You were going to move there.
Yeah. I was talking to you about 2013 or so. And you and Glenn were open to me coming out there. But
I really actually wish that my eye injury I would have been there longer. I honestly think if I hadn't have stabbed my eye, who knows if I would have ever left. Because I had planned to stay there for maybe ever. Like, I didn't think I was ever going to move. And when I moved there after my eye injury, I actually thought I was going to be moving back like a year later, but never came to be for a bunch of reasons. And
no, the idea of me moving out there, man, it was so intriguing to me because film and all these things, I'm interested in it all, dude. Yeah. I want to try and do it all.
Any creative outlet. You were also you were looking up wrestling promotions here as well.
I was, and I had actually talked to the guy who wrestles as the Patriot, Tom Brandy, and brother, he gave me 2 California promoters. So yeah, I was researching it.
So you were going to try to get some bookings, and Dude, I would, the 20, when you're in your 20s, that's the time to try stuff. That's the time to get as much out of your system. And I'm not in any way saying that once you hit 30 that it's all over, because I'm in my 30s. There's always time. Colonel Sanders himself did not actually become successful with the KFC brand or anything until he was 64 years old.
Holy shit.
So you could be successful at any point in your life. But yeah, it's just, I really wish that had panned out. I wish you had gotten that opportunity to come, because not only would that have been cool for you to get that experience, do all those things, but just on like a personal level, with all three of us getting to bond, hang out, coordinate projects, just collaborate and work on stuff like that. How cool would that have been, to be able to do that?
Who knows? I might have really fucking made it because I had you guys supporting shit, and we'll never know.
So really, it's our fault. It's our fault.
No. One thing that I did say earlier in the episode is that I am taking stand-up comedy way more serious. I've been writing every day. I'm on Monday, I'm going to an open mic night, and I'm I'm trying to open the next chapter of my life. So
you nervous?
No, I'm not.
You're ready.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know if I've ever wanted something more than wrestling.
So do you have jokes planned, or how's it work? Do you just what do you write? What do you write?
I guess, yeah, I will be. I'll be a storyteller. I'll be kind of like a Dusty Slay. If anybody wants to look up Dusty Slay, I'm gonna try to be. Yeah, I'm not gonna be a one-liner guy. I would like to be a storyteller.
So like Mick Foley does that kind of thing too, where he basically tells stories, and a lot of them are funny. He puts funny twists on them. Is that kind of what you're looking to do?
Yeah. I want to tap into personal stories. I want my stuff to be relatable. I'm in the very, very early stages of all this, so I don't want to put too much pressure on me. But I will say, as this will be a podcast that is archived, I will say at this point, I have never, Mike, never felt more motivated in my life. I feel like I've been awoken from a coma, and I'm ready to make some shit happen.
The sleeping giant has been awoken.
Yeah. I'm very excited, very motivated.
That's good, man. And I'm sure you'll update everyone here on the show once you have a solid, once you have any bookings lined up or anything like that, and once you know anything of that kind of thing, right?
The Do For brand. Make sure you're following it. TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Make sure you are following us. And hopefully people look back on this podcast. Oh God, I'm putting way too much. I'm putting like a fucking Jerry Seinfeld or something. Guys, I'm going to try my best. But if I do make it, let's just talk hypotheticals. If I do
what if I become a billionaire?
It would be cool. It would be cool to look back on this show.
Yeah, for sure. Because this is kind of like what started that whole creative process and all that.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, man, I wish you could have gotten out to LA or really anywhere. I wish we could have done that kind of thing anywhere and been able to do that. And I feel like that time is kind of past now, only because
not for me.
You have a fan. Well, I'm saying you have a fan. No. I don't. I mean, like as far as like all collaborating and living together, that kind of thing is kind of past, because you have a family. I'm going to be starting a family here. Glenn has his relationship, and so it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, man, dude, we're all doing big things.
Yeah, we're kind of all adulting now.
But now we just talked about Los Angeles. Did we want to go to a city that I've been to, or did you want to take the next one? Because I kind of forced you into that Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Have you ever been to Vegas?
Never.
I wanted to touch on Vegas real quick. Yeah. So I went to Vegas real
quick, just for everybody out there, I did work at a casino for a while. So
yeah, I remember. We talked about that.
I'm invested in this.
Hell yeah. Well, this was it's not going to interest you, because I went to Vegas when I was still a kid. So I wasn't able to partake. I wasn't able to partake in any of the gambling stuff. I was probably 12 or 13.
Okay, well that's kind of interesting. What the fuck does a 13-year-old do in Las Vegas?
Exactly, right? You would think that, but there's actually a shit ton for a kid to do in Vegas.
Okay. I mean, hey, as a touristy thing, they kind of have to have something for kids.
Yeah, I mean they had a lot of shows. Obviously, we saw some cool pirate ship show, and I'm obviously this is a very long time ago, so my memory of the whole thing is kind of lost a bit. But I do remember one thing about it. My mom was very upset that I was going on this trip.
Well, hold on. Who the fuck are you going with?
My mom, my grandmother, my aunt Kay, and my aunt Heather.
You're going with her.
So 2 aunts, my mom, my grandmother, and me.
You're going with her, and she's not happy about you going.
I'm going because I had begged my grandmother to let me come on this trip because I wanted to be a part of it.
So you weren't originally supposed
I was not originally. This was an adult only trip. And keep in mind, I have siblings and also I have cousins. So there's other people that could have been on this trip too that weren't. But I was trying to get on it. And my grandmother's like, oh, yeah, that sounds nice. You know, he can come. My mom was furious. She did not. I think she wanted just an all adults trip, just so she can unwind, not have to worry about her stupid kid, bothering her while she's trying to get shit faced.
She wants to let her fucking hair down.
She wants to have.
Is she single at the time?
I don't think so.
Oh, so she's not trying to get down. She's trying to
maybe she is. You never know. You never know. I'm just saying. But yeah, it was an interesting experience that she didn't really, and that was actually a point of tension for a while. Like even on the trip, like she just was not thrilled that I was on that trip. But one funny thing that happened there was there was this cool magic shop. I was really into magic at that time as a kid.
Oh hell yeah.
Dude, did you ever buy like those or get those magic kits like for Christmas or anything like that? Or
I did. Yeah.
Dude, I love those things. I never really learned any of the tricks, but I loved the hat and waving the magic wand and all that stuff.
Yeah, there was some kind of ball thing I had where you had a physical ball, but there was like a plastic top piece that looked like a ball, and you could make people think that you made a ball disappear. Yeah, I felt like the shit.
Yep, I had something similar. That was pretty cool set.
Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, so I had a bunch of those things. Was always into that, and there was this cool magic shop, and so I went into it, and there was this like stuff that you put into a drink. It was like a powder. You put it into somebody's drink.
The Bill Cosby?
The Bill Cosby. You put it into somebody. Now that I think about it, this is actually kind of encouraging bad people to do bad things. Like this is
Let me buy you a drink.
But you put it in somebody's drink, and basically it turns whatever drink it is, whether it's pop, water, doesn't matter what the drink is. It turns it into like a sludge consistency. Okay. So it's like a very unpleasant consistency. Nothing you'd want to drink.
So what's the joke?
It's not like a slush. Well, the joke is you're about to take a drink of your pop, your Coke, and you're drinking straight what tastes like almost like I mean, it's weird. It's a very weird consistency. It's almost it's just weird.
So it's kind of an asshole prank.
Oh, it's a total asshole prank. But I did it to my Aunt Kay, who sadly is no longer with us. But I pranked her and she was so pissed, but I just thought it was the most fucking funniest thing ever. Like, I love pranks like that. But I don't remember a whole lot about at Las Vegas except that there was this basement arcade at this Excalibur. It was called Excalibur Casino.
Oh, cool.
And resort. There was this basement arcade for kids and families in general. And it was huge, like all kinds of games and shit like that. My family actually let me. I'm surprised I wasn't like abducted and raped because my family would just let me leave the hotel room, go wander off around the resort, and I would go to the arcade basement myself, wander around, come back up freely, do whatever I want. And I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of trust. Like,
I just think you're 13.
I feel like I was younger than that though.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to remember. What year would that have been?
Yeah, I mean, because, dude, if you're a 13, 14-year-old, I
definitely was not 13, 14. I was not 14 for sure.
Okay, so you're okay.
I think I was 11 to 12.
Dude, I mean, you were a pretty responsible ass kid then, weren't you?
I was, but like, I'm just saying, like, that's not something people do nowadays. Like, okay, Johnny, run off and have a good time. Like, that's not usually something people really do anymore, or at least not a lot of people.
Okay, enough about all this kid shit. Yeah, how many showgirls did you see?
Oh, tons. There actually was a risque show that we went to. It wasn't no boobs or nothing, but
burlesque.
Yeah, exactly.
Tasteful,
little risque, very tasteful.
Moulin Rouge.
Exactly. I'd love to go to Vegas though as an adult. Like that was Vegas as a kid. I bet Vegas as an adult is a whole different experience.
Mike, I'm sorry to ask you this. Have you always been interested in women?
Have I always been interested in women?
Yeah. So I'm sorry. So as a kid, were you kind of looking for that?
Looking for women?
Yeah, 9, 10, just looking to see what you could see.
Well, of course. I mean, as a growing boy, I mean, I was always curious to see what was out there.
A growing boy.
my eyes would wander.
So Las Vegas, probably plenty to look at.
You know what? Very, very attractive women. I had to been like 10 or 11 now, I think. I don't know but okay. The one thing I do remember about Las Vegas is I found a business card, which happened to be for an escort service. And I showed my grandmother. I was just like, hey, I found this business card. What's this for? And she was like, oh, let me take that. And she grabbed it from me. And I later put the pieces together that it was because prostitution is actually legal there, from what I understand.
It is, yeah, so, yeah. Well, in certain jurisdictions, right?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know, but
I watched a Bunny Ranch documentary years ago. HBO, man, they used to put out the best documentaries.
Dude, HBO. Speaking of HBO, do you remember? I don't know what you did as a kid, but like HBO Cinemax. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's where you're. Yeah. The fuzzy screen. Yeah.
Once midnight hit, I'm just saying. You take the little remote. You look around the corner, make sure mom and dad are asleep. Put on some HBO after dark.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. My older brother, he would get into shit like that, but I don't really remember me specifically looking for stuff like that.
I remember looking.
I remember there being 150 Pokemon, and I decided to print a picture of each Pokemon, and my mom was pissed because that's 150 fucking pages.
Dude, I love Pokemon. I had such a nice Pokemon card collection. Did you collect those?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but someone stole those. So
that's totally during my time.
You ever see? You like Pawn Stars, the show?
Fuck no.
You don't like Pawn Stars?
I don't like any TV.
Oh, well, that's not fun.
No.
Not even. Well, you like wrestling.
Not even that anymore.
Yeah, it kind of sucks these days. But Pawn Stars is one of my favorite shows. I'd actually like to go see their store in Vegas.
Did you see? Oh, okay. So they got a place in Vegas.
Yeah, they got a store. The store that they shoot their show at. So that would be cool to check out.
Maybe we should make it a point. The last time that we met together was in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Maybe the next time we meet should be in Vegas.
Oh yeah, man. I'd be down for that.
Hell yeah. Do you want to switch cities?
Yeah. That's pretty much all I got to say about Vegas anyway.
Hell yeah. I got one more city before we have the final city that I'll talk about. The second to last here is Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls.
Whenever people think of Niagara Falls, whenever I did at least, I imagine this awesome fucking place, this slice of American pie, Niagara Falls. Like you can get t-shirts anywhere of Niagara Falls. What I thought at the time.
I thought at the time.
Well, what was it? Buffalo, New York is right outside of Niagara Falls, and my fiance's cousin is an actress. And she was still in high school at the time and was the lead in a play out in Buffalo. And we decided that since we were going out to Buffalo, let's go ahead and check off the bucket list, Niagara Falls. And I really wish I would have told somebody that I was going to Niagara Falls.
Oh boy, why?
Because, dude, every time that you tell people, hey man, I went to Niagara Falls, they're like, oh, you went to the Canadian side, didn't you? No. I was in the United States, so I fucking checked out the United States side. Brother, I'll tell you this. It was mind-blowing how much homeless and just...
Really? I don't even remember that. I've been to Niagara Falls. I forget.
You've been?
I've been there twice.
Stateside?
And the Canada side.
Both?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, I thought that once we got to the actual, like, touristy Niagara Falls where the park is, you're at the falls, I thought that, oh, there surely won't be any homeless people in there because of how much tourists are there. Brother, holy shit. They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere.
I was probably too young to remember, so that's probably why I don't remember that experience. But they were just, even by the falls, like standing where you could watch the falls, you would see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I was really
When
blown
was
away.
this?
I mean,
What
it wasn't
year?
like it wasn't like an inconveniencing feeling. It was more like a holy shit. There's a lot of homeless people here.
Yeah. Sounds kind of like LA then. A lot of homeless in San Francisco too.
God, hopefully I can experience that one day. But like, I don't know. I want to experience all the homeless in the world. I've seen the Atlanta homeless. I've seen the Niagara Falls homeless. I want to check all the boxes. But yeah, nothing really.
What did you like about Niagara Falls? Anything though? Besides, I mean, you had to have liked some things.
The falls were cool.
Wait, what year did you say?
This was about 4 years ago.
4 years. Okay, so you also went to the American side. I was gonna say something I was always very curious about. I walked past it, but I never went inside. Was the WWE? It was like, I don't know if it was like a store or what it was, but they had a store in Toronto.
Kind of like WWF New York.
Kind of like that, except I don't think it was a restaurant. Maybe it was. I'm not sure. But they had a ride. They had an Undertaker ride called the Tombstone or the Pile Driver or something like that. And it would basically, you would go on it and you would go, it would take you up, and it was like a drop ride. So it takes you up to the top and it would drop you, like a pile driver.
Like the last ride.
But so they had a couple rides there, and I was like, oh wow, I want to go there. That was like my destination. Like, I need to go there one day. And then they fucking closed it before I could ever go. So I did see it like from afar. It was cool because they had the Undisputed Championship that Brock Lesnar had back in the day, 2002, 2003.
Oh yeah,
the Undisputed
Hulk Hogan, baby.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The Undisputed Championship was actually used as the sign. So it was the Undisputed title, and then there was like WWE Shop on it or something like that, or whatever it said. It was pretty cool. So if you ever look up WWE Niagara Falls, you'll probably see some photos of what it used to be, and it was a cool place.
I'm gonna have to do that. I wish I had more to say about Niagara Falls, but I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember. I was probably too young to remember much.
I guess the moral of the story is that, like, yeah, you can glamorize these places all that you want in your mind, but you don't know until you visit it.
Exactly.
Woo. Very surprising. But my last story is on Atlanta, Georgia. But Mike, what's the last city you got for us?
Well, the last city is actually kind of a whammy because it's a 14-day cruise. Like,
Jesus God.
But we'll blow through it though. I just got little things to touch on with each thing, and I'm even going to try to grab photos as well.
Go ahead and do that. I was never interested in cruises until I was working at Rust-Oleum, and a couple of the older guys, the guys who had been there 10, 15, 20 years, I guess on their vacations, all of them, they all went to cruises, like different cruises, and they would recommend cruises to each other. And it was just like a weird fraternity. Like, if you work here a long time, you have to go on a cruise kind of thing. And that made me very intrigued by cruises. There's a lot of things that you have to think about on cruises too. If you want it to be kid friendly, or if you do want it to be a very adult cruise, they're all different, right, Mike?
Yeah, for sure. You can, whatever theme you want, whatever you fancy, you could pretty much find a cruise for it. If you like Disney.
So what even puts you onto a cruise?
It was one of those things where it was like a bucket list item. Like, I was just thinking, we were one day saying, okay, we want to go on a trip somewhere.
Bungee jump, cruise,
all the stuff started popping in our head, all the places we can go. And we've been to New York City a couple times. We've been some places. And I was just thinking, what could we do where we could visit like a lot of places? And I was thinking, well, we've always wanted to do a cruise.
Just fuck up that checklist. Just boom, 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 boom.
Well, I was starting to look at cruises, and I'm like, well, how many days would we want to go on a cruise? It's our first cruise, what we want to do. So we were thinking the normal 5 to 7, we'll go 5 or 7 days. And then I was scrolling through the list of all the available itineraries. And I get to this one, and it's like a 14-day Caribbean cruise. going through different islands and stuff like that. I'm like, 14 days. And I just started thinking to myself, like, 2 weeks at sea. That kind of sounds cool. Like, I don't know. For some reason, it sounded cool.
Yeah, I mean, because like 1 week is like a little slice, a little sliver.
Yeah. But brother, 2 weeks, you get a taste of living it almost. Like it's like a half a month right there.
So that intrigued you.
So it intrigued me. I'm like, so we're not just going to taste of it. We'll pretty much live here on this ship for half of a month.
Yeah, live on that shit.
But so we actually started off. We had to fly from Chicago to Houston because our cruise ship departed from Galveston, Texas.
Interesting.
So we went to Houston first, and actually before the cruise even started, we went to Minute Maid Park, and we watched.
The famous Minute Maid Park.
And we watched.
I love Minute Maid.
I actually like Minute Maid too.
They do make a quality juice.
But they do make, yeah, they really do. Oh, we got it.
Hey, man, that's very cool. Being in a stadium. Have you been in a lot of stadiums, Mike?
I've been to the stadium in Cleveland. You know, used to be called the not the Gund Arena, Jacobs Field. Now it's called Progressive Field.
Very cool.
Been to Pittsburgh's Field. And
Me too.
Houston.
Yep. Pittsburgh was very nice. Just a little sidebar.
Very nice. Pittsburgh. Oh yeah, Pittsburgh. You've been to Pittsburgh's the ballpark?
Yeah, well, not the ballpark, but just a super quick sidebar. Pittsburgh is the first place that I've ever been to where I was in a bar before a concert. I was in a bar trying to kill some time, getting a couple drinks, pre-gaming it, and a guy who had been to Pittsburgh tons was like, "Hey, man, let's go ahead and start heading to the venue." And I was like, "No, I'm not done my drink." And he said, "No, in Pittsburgh, you can take your fucking drink with you." And I was like, on the sidewalk, like, and like walk in public with it. And he was like, yeah. He was like, there, all these Pittsburgh major, hockey, football, all these things. They have to have laws like that in place so you can fucking get trashed and walk around Pittsburgh.
That's crazy.
Have you ever heard of that before?
I vaguely remember that because we went, I don't remember what it was called, what strip it was, but there was like this strip of bars that we went to in Pittsburgh. I forget what they called it. There was an actual name for it. The strip. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Well, I just thought he was trying to get me in fucking trouble. The second we walked out of this bar, there's a cop standing right fucking at the intersection. I'm like, okay. I waved my drink at him, and he's like, whatever.
Is it real? Like it's a real thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, we were told that too. We didn't actually do it. So we didn't know if it was true or not. That's crazy.
Yeah, love it. But back onto.
Yeah, so we just we were at this. Yeah, we were at the Minute Maid Field, Minute Maid Park, watching the Astros.
Okay.
And yes, that was just our little trip in Houston.
No, so you have to go to Houston to get onto the boat, and you're there with enough time to see a game.
Yeah, well, we got there the day before, so we got there the day before our cruise was going to embark, so we had time to see a baseball game. And
so you're checking off a lot of boxes here. You're getting to experience a little bit of Houston.
Yeah, we got to experience a little bit of Houston. Got some barbecue in Houston, which was really good, and also I had my first mani-pedi in Houston. My first and my only mani-pedi.
And what did you think?
I actually
what do you think?
It was actually kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. It was actually kind of nice. I enjoyed it. It was relaxing. But
toes. What do you think, man? Toes. What do you think about people fucking with your toes?
A little weird, if I'm gonna be honest. A little weird. Like I don't like to
get comfortable.
Generally, I do not like when people touch me. Like I just don't like it. I don't like hugs. I mean, unless
handshakes, fuck that.
Yeah. I don't mind I actually don't mind handshakes. No, but like somebody touching my feet, like a little awkward, a little weird. Yeah, not something
I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. But so I had but overall it was enjoyable. It was weird, but so I got to experience a little bit of Houston and on to the cruise ship.
Okay, so we're boarding onto the cruise ship. Is it kind of like is it a hard process to get onto it? Do they make it kind of quick to get onto the boat?
It actually wasn't so bad. It was pretty organized.
Okay.
There's a photo of us.
I mean, that's what they do. So they probably try to make it as quick as possible.
Yeah, they basically split you off into different rooms. So we were assigned to a big room, and they walk you through a whole bunch of stuff, like
And how does the ship rock? Do you feel it moving?
We were supposed to do a drill. Oh, we did do a drill. You don't feel the ship rock very much unless there's something going on. Like, if there's a storm going on.
Yeah, or you fucking hit an iceberg. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're definitely going to feel some stuff then. But but what we actually did experience a storm during our trip.
Cool.
And no, not cool. And when you're in a ship in the middle of the ocean, you truly realize how in God's hands you are, because
it's my nightmare.
So this ship, I kid you not, was just rocking so violently. Like, I mean, this giant ass ship was rocking really good.
Yeah.
And it was scary.
Let me just tell you, whenever I was a kid, no shit. One of my reoccurring nightmares I'd have as a kid was being in the middle of the ocean during a storm and just fucking sinking to the bottom.
Yeah.
Scares me, dude. It's just so
very
big.
Terrifying. You want to know what else I was doing leading up to this trip? I was so stupid. I was on YouTube looking up cruise ship disasters.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm the kind of person where, like, hours before my plane I'm about to catch, I'm Googling plane disasters and plane crashes and shit. Or if it's a cruise ship, I was Googling what was the big story around that time, or the Costa Concordia had crashed a few years before that, and some people died.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just researching that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I'm just fascinated with, like, tragedy, I guess.
Yeah. And you're like revising the search, cruise, mass shooting, cruise this. Whoa. Hey, man, don't let the anxiety take over, man. Have a good time.
I had a good time, but I like to do my research and know what I'm getting into. This is actually one of my favorite photos that I took right here.
What a beautiful scene. Do you get seasick at all?
I didn't. We got a little sick towards the end of the cruise. I don't know if it was food poisoning or if it was just, a little stomach bug, but
sure.
There was no seasickness for me, at least.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't really be too worried about getting seasick. I'm not sure if I'm the type of person who would get seasick, but I guess you don't know until you're on it.
And you said you've been on some boats before?
No, never.
No?
Not even a dinghy, Mike.
This is the dining room that we went to called Blush. This was where we
shout out to Blush Restaurant. They are not a fucking sponsor of this show, but whatever.
Blush. It was kind of cool. Like, we got to, it was just a neat experience.
Very nice, though. I love the really big doors. Must be really tall people go here.
Oh yeah. They served you all kinds of fancy stuff that you had to pick in advance, and
live music.
Dinners. There was no live music.
No live music on the fucking cruise. How much does this cruise cost?
Oh, dude, this was an expensive trip. Do you really want to know the grand total?
Give us numbers, man.
I don't know the exact amount, like, to give you, it was this much and 7 cents, but I could tell you about what it was. It was about $8,000 all in.
No, and is that everything factored in? Your food pass, your drink pass, what it took to get there?
Yeah, that's flights, that's cruise ship tickets, that's what we spent on the cruise.
$8,000.
Maybe even closer to, it was in between 8 and 10. Whoa. I'll say that. Definitely less than 10. Definitely at least 8.
Jeez. But and you didn't get any specials or nothing.
Well, we actually won something pretty cool. So this is our first and only cruise we've ever been on, and we won our very first night. We became VIPs for the whole cruise, the whole trip. Like, we won some contest thing, and we got like free alcohol at dinner, free champagne. I mean, and
Castello del Poggio Moscato. That's my favorite.
And my favorite too. It's a great year.
No, I truth be told, I wasn't a wine guy until I met my fiance, and I really love Moscato, so I would probably drink that.
Another cool thing, my boss or my client actually ended up sending us a sandwich plate to our room, like with all kinds of fancy sandwiches. The one that you see is like a smoked salmon, which was awful. I hated the smoked salmon.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with you for the people who listen to the podcast who can't see the picture. None of what was on that picture looked good.
They definitely were very fancy sandwiches. They were not great.
So what was the fucking no live bands, no live music? What's the entertainment?
Well, I'll tell you what the entertainment was like. There was an outdoor movie theater.
Get the fuck out of here.
On the top of the ship was a movie theater that you can sit down. It was where the pools were, so you could get the deck chairs and sit. And we actually watched one of the Avenger movies, and we also watched.
Oh my god! And they're playing comic book movies. Fuck me,
dude. That's the best cruise ship. You're playing comic. That's the best you can get. There's no better.
Oh my god! I would be so $8,000. I would be so pissed.
$8,000. Well, what are you expecting?
Get fucking Captain America off this shit now.
I saw Solo, the Star Wars movie Solo for the first time.
I don't follow none of these comic book movies.
A Solo, I guess Star Wars is comic book kind of.
You fucking kidding me, Mike?
But so that was cool.
Hey, but to your credit though, you knew that whenever you signed up.
That I knew what?
There's going to be a movie thing.
We knew about all the different amenities and like what we weren't prepared for was how much there is to buy. Like people don't realize like they make the cruise ship ticket prices look pretty entertaining. Like, I don't even remember what ours was, but they'll just make the prices look enticing. Like, $200 per person a night or whatever the price is. But that's just like, that covers a lot. It covers your food, covers your sleeping and all that stuff. But there's a lot it doesn't cover as well, like extra activities, any souvenirs. So there was like, they were always soaking you for more money on this.
What would you say is the coolest extra activity that was there?
Well, I don't know about extra activity, but the coolest souvenir I bought on the whole trip was actually my Star Wars watch. So you can kind of see Vader's eyes.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry. You said you're like Star Wars.
It's really cool. It really caught my eye when I was walking by, and so I had to get it.
Yeah, hey man, it doesn't look like a Star Wars watch, so that's good.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't kind of a pricey watch, but it was Star Wars themed, I guess.
Yeah. You're pretty much buying the brand. The watch itself, probably $25.
Dude, that's so fucked up.
But
that is beyond messed up. I'm trying to see. We went to the middle of the ocean and swam with Stingray. Got to actually touch a stingray. Would you ever do that? That's how Steve Irwin died.
That is how Stevie died.
Crocodile hunter.
Act like he's my friend. Oh fuck, that was how Stevie died. No, whenever I went to the Atlanta, Georgia aquarium, there was an opportunity at a section of that aquarium where you could touch one of the fucking filthy animals, but I didn't want to.
Jesus.
I didn't mean to call them a filthy animal. They are dirty though. Most animals are, and that comes with the territory.
You know what the first city though of the cruise? So where you get on the cruise, you get some days at sea, which they call fun days at sea, which is basically just travel days. You're just traveling to the next island.
Yeah, they're like, there's fucking nothing. You're stuck.
Yeah, you're pretty much just go walk around the cruise ship buying.
How many days is that
stuff? That we were on the cruise ship?
Of just sea travel. Is that just about 3 days?
It was about half. No, it was about half. So like there was 7 sea days and 7 island days.
$8,000. Whoa! Half of it you're on the boat.
Well, but yeah, that's part of the experience. So that's
what you want. You want.
They have a casino on the boat. There's restaurants. There's all kinds of activities. Oh yeah.
They got dealers like card dealers.
They got card. Yeah, they got blackjack, poker, all kinds of stuff.
Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, wow. I lost $300 at the casino.
Oh, so that's a part of your $8,000.
That's expensive. A part of my definitely a part of it. So our first stop was at the Grand Cayman in the Cayman Islands, And
Okay.
the only notable thing that I can even remember about this place, I don't remember anything we did other than I bought my first Cuban cigars.
Wow, they look so. Oh man, I want one.
Yeah, well, I don't have any more now, but
Monte Cristo.
I bought real Cuban cigars, supposedly. And I remember on this trip, I was like, well, I don't even think they're illegal anymore. I guess they're not illegal. The reason why I wanted them is because I thought it was like, living on the edge. Well, I want a Cuban cigar because they were banned at one point, but I don't think it's a banned item anymore.
I wonder why they banned it.
Oh yeah, this is trying to see.
It does make you wonder why they banned it. It's just a cigar, right?
This is the VIP thing that we won. So we actually had VIP seats throughout the entire cruise because of what we won. So we got to have the best seat for all the shows, the comedy shows, the musicals, anything we wanted to see. We could just go.
What comedian, man? What's the comedian there?
They weren't names. They weren't people.
Come on. No names?
They were nobody that you would know. Nobody that I knew either.
They're like, you've heard of Jeff Foxworthy. This guy's just like him. Here comes Ned Flanders. Like whoever the fuck they call him.
They do these cool towel animals though.
Were they real quick though? The comedians, were they any good?
I mean, yeah, they were all very funny. They were very good.
Okay.
They just weren't names that you would recognize. Yeah.
Oh man, no Carlos Mencia, no hacks.
Another one of those towel animals. I thought those were cute always.
Why were they making towel animals?
That was their thing. It was Carnival Cruise Lines. Their thing was they would make they would make animals.
Oh, so they have some stupid theme to go with it.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, Grand Cayman, nothing really notable there than Cuban cigars. Then we moved on to Aruba. And the cool thing that we did in Aruba was we rode ATVs on the beach. And so this was the beach.
You ever driven on an ATV before?
Yes, like once, but definitely never on a beach.
Yeah, growing up in West Virginia, you get an opportunity to drive an ATV every other week, but I never did because I'm
every other week.
Redneck.
I'm kind of a redneck.
I'm not. Oh, okay. Also, they got the beautiful beach out there, clear water.
Yeah.
You guys are soaking up the sun, not even wearing a bathing suit.
I remember we had to wear these bandanas to stop the dust, stop us from breathing in the dust. So we had to ride with those on.
Yeah.
Covering our mouths and nose. Oh yeah, but there's some of the ATVs there.
And there's other people doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, in our group or whatever.
Okay. And is that annoying? You try not to step on anybody's toes?
No, it wasn't actually annoying. Here's actually a video. Oh, cool, we get to watch a video.
Very cool. Okay, so we're kind of getting to take a look at the land. Looks very open.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Aruba, I think, was my favorite island. It was just.
Why is that?
It was beautiful, and I know it might not look at it from this because this kind of just looks like desert land, but
yeah, it
was very beautiful. A fun place to visit.
And the air. Yeah, let's talk about air, Mike. Did the air smell a little different out there?
Very fresh. There was just obviously the pollution is just nothing like what you would find in pretty much anywhere in America.
But that's important though, dude, because you're away from your surroundings. You want to breathe that fucking fresh ass air. That's
it feels amazing. Yeah, it does. Yeah. I would go back to Aruba in a heartbeat.
So Aruba was very cool. Was that the final stop of the cruise?
Nope.
What's next?
Actually, make sure there was no other interesting photos from there.
Yeah, definitely don't show us any vacation pictures. Wink, wink.
Oh, I don't have that.
Yeah, don't show us the vacation pictures.
Oh, you mean the vacation pictures?
If it's of you, we'll let it happen.
So after we got back that day.
Okay. So you get back from Aruba.
After we get back from Aruba, there's our next animal.
Yeah, and you got more fucking towels.
More fucking towel animals. But the next place on our list was Curacao. Curacao was a fun place. We actually met this couple.
What country? Sorry.
Curacao is the country.
Curacao is the country. Okay.
I am pretty sure. I think Curacao is, I don't know.
South America?
We're in the Caribbean, so I don't know what that counts as.
Oh shit.
I actually don't know what that counts as.
I don't know either.
I feel so stupid. But Curacao was amazing because we actually met this couple, this older couple. They had been on so many cruises. Like the cruise lifestyle was like their thing. That was just like what they lived for.
That's cool whenever you find some old heads that are that you can bear to be around. Yeah.
Like they go on many cruises each year. Like that's cool. And so they were talking to us about, places they visited and that kind of stuff. And that was cool. We were just drinking. I just enjoyed just drinking on some of these islands. Had the greatest sushi in Curacao. Had really, really great sushi.
Is it better than gas station sushi?
No, not quite, but it's close.
Okay.
It's close.
So you're having sushi. So are you with the locals eating the sushi?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tourist local sushi. Area. So, it is local. Like all the fish is fresh from the island. Yeah. And this sushi was the freshest sushi I've ever had in my entire life. I've never had sushi like it since. It was just made perfectly.
I kind of grew up thinking, a lot of people paint a bad picture of sushi. So for years, a long time, I was not into sushi, but in the last, I don't know, in my adult life, about last 7-8 years, oh man, I can't get enough sushi. Love sushi.
Yeah, sushi. I didn't start eating sushi till I was 18, but once I got hooked on it, couldn't get enough. These were actually our drinks in Curacao.
Very nice. It looks like a tall drink. It looks like a lot of liquor in
there.
Fruity.
Yeah, a lot of liquor, dude. We got trashed. That's pretty much this whole trip.
And there's no smoke on the trip?
Nope. No smoke.
What?
Oh, no. They check the bags pretty thoroughly, scan them and all that. It's like airport security.
And did you smell it while you were on the cruise?
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
No. Actually, when we were on our balcony, we could smell somebody doing something.
I would have went straight to the captain and been like, this is bullshit and you need to find them.
Like, who the fuck is doing this? I want them found and I want them thrown overboard now. Thrown overboard, sir. Like, that's not
Titanic style.
Throw a door out there and leave them. But so that was pretty much it for Curacao. I'll tell you another amazing stop though. We stopped in Grenada.
Oh, Grenada! Yeah, from Anger Management. I believe Adam Sandler has a really funny line about Grenada and
Grenada, man. Yeah. The Grenada, wasn't that like over in 24 hours?
Yeah. Good shit. So you went to Grenada.
Yeah, hell yeah, I went to Grenada.
Was it in shambles? A lot of shelled out places.
I'll tell you, there was a couple places. I think it was Grenada and Dominica where you could clearly see, because this was I don't know when the hurricane hit, but some of these islands got hit pretty bad by a hurricane, pretty recent when we had went. So you could tell there was some damage. Dominica was the worst of it. Dominica got hit the worst. So when we went there, we got off the cruise ship, walked around to some local street vendors, just kind of looked at some stuff.
Yeah.
And then we went back on the ship like 45 minutes later. So we were only on Dominica for like 45 minutes total.
That's just interesting. And real quick,
because it was kind of like, no, I'm saying because of the hurricane damage, it just seemed like not much to do.
No, yeah. Hurricanes, man. Woo. Whenever I was in military school, that was during the same time Hurricane Katrina happened. Now, my military school was sponsored by the National Guard. I was at this military school and shit tons, bus loads of people start coming off of this bus from wherever Hurricane Katrina hit. And man, these people had nothing. They had lost everything. They were frantic. They were dangerous. That was the only time that we had to have escorts take us to and from class to eat, because there were people being raped on the base. Jesus. There were, people were losing their fucking minds.
That's crazy.
There was people threatening us. I remember coming outside one time and I just looked at this guy for too long and he was like, "What the fuck are you staring at?" And I was like, I was like, oh God. And dude, there was
I'm sorry, sir.
everywhere. Like I couldn't believe it. So yes, hurricanes fucking change people and places.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. And they did warn us about that about a couple places. Like, they said this area is trying to rebuild. So just be mindful of that and try to support the locals by buying something from them, support
people on their last string of hope see old Mike Yatsko coming off that boat and they're like, hey, that guy looks like he has something.
Dude, and no joke. Speaking of, I'm glad you brought that up. All these islands, that was a big problem. Hustlers. I mean, as soon as you got off the ship, they saw money from everybody and they would latch on to you and just try to sell you something. When we were in Barbados, I was just trying to take a nap on the beach. Like that was my bucket list item. I had never taken a nap on a beach and I just wanted to sleep on a beach. That was what
God, you're so 90s, man. You're so sentimental. You're so country music video.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take it as a compliment. I don't know if it was issued as one, but I'll take it as a compliment. But yeah, it was just an interesting experience trying to take a nap. I mean, I like the simple things in life, man. I just like simple things.
What, did somebody fuck with you?
Trying to take a nap, and then this local hustler dude, just kept walking up. He's like, "Hey, man, you want to ride jet ski?" I can't even do his accent. It was like a Caribbean thing.
Hey, brother, no,
you want to ride jet skis? We'll take you out or whatever. And I'm just like, no, it's okay. I'm actually trying to nap right now. I'm just trying. He's like, oh, then he was like trying to offer me a discount and all this stuff. And I'm like, bro, I finally had to be stern. I'm like, I have no interest in this. I'm just trying to relax. Like, you had to be stern with some of these people. Like, they'll take your kindness as just an opportunity to keep selling you.
Dude, we've seen this side of Mike Yatsko where he has to get stern, and I'm starting to think that it's only when you're traveling.
Dude, when some of these places, they're like vultures. You basically have to stand your ground and be like, no, like absolutely not interested.
That's their livelihood, dude. They're gonna push until they can get something. So yeah, you have to be like that.
But the reason why I left this photo up for so long is I actually wanted to bring it up because this is Grenada still. In Grenada, well, in all these islands, but there was just things growing everywhere, like food growing. And that's one of the things they talked about is there's like anywhere you look on the island, there's like food growing.
Wow, different foods
from cocoa to guava to mango to corn, you name it. You look around, you could see it growing, somewhere. And
there's a guy fucking selling sesame seeds.
Yeah. And no joke. That was a huge thing. Spices. That was a huge trade there. We actually came home with tons of different spices, but so we just saw stuff growing.
That's very cool.
Grenada was actually pretty beautiful. I mean, you could tell from the photos. It's just nice.
That is very cool. There are probably a lot of movies have been filmed there.
Oh, here's cocoa beans right there. That's actual cocoa. We bought cocoa beans
in the wild.
Yeah, cocoa beans in the wild. That's their main. That's their big export, I guess, is cocoa beans. That's street corn. We got grilled corn from a street vendor.
Yeah, where's all the drugs at? Is there people trying to sell you drugs?
No, nobody ever tried to sell us drugs.
What the fuck? That's what if I lived in Grenada, I would constantly have drugs on me. Like, hey, bro.
Oh, I'm glad I saw a photo of this place. Because it just triggered a story. So, okay, my fiance, I love her to death. But
what the hell is this place?
Actually, I don't remember what it was called, but what she did happened right at this place. So we were on a bus. We pretty much run a bus anytime we were on an island. They would take you to your destinations that you were going to go, your tourist attractions. So the bus dropped us off at this place. It was some old mill. I forget what they used to do here, but so they were just showing us around. Anyway, afterwards, Kristen says, oh, I want to buy something from this street vendor because they had a couple people selling stuff here. And I was like, well, we don't have any more cash on us. We have to go back to the boat. We don't have cash. And she's like, oh, I have $20. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, how? It worked out real nice that she had
$20.
It worked out real nice. She had $20 to buy whatever trinkets we were trying to buy, some like spices and things like that. And afterwards, I'm like, oh, hey, well, where'd you get that $20 at? She's like, oh, I found it on the bus. And I'm like, no, you didn't. I'm like, so somebody dropped that and then you just spent that money. I'm like, that is so fucked up. I'm like, If you had told me that beforehand, I would have not let you do that. Like I had no clue because I don't play like that. First of all, I believe in karma.
Yes.
So like what goes around comes around. If you're going to do something like that, you better expect something to hit you back. But I'm just
and there's fucking ancient ghosts out in Grenada.
Fuck yeah, you don't know what
haunting her.
You're in the middle of these places, but like it's just the nerve. Like I would understand if like you asked, hey, did anybody drop 20? And then nobody speaks up. Okay, you did your due diligence. Keep the 20.
Fair.
Although I doubt if you said anybody dropped 20, nobody's going to be like, oh yeah, like, but lots of hands will go up. But yeah, so she didn't even make any attempt to return this 20. She just picked it up, and I'm like, oh, I feel so bad about what we just did now. But so yeah, this photo.
Cool? Did you get something cool out of it though?
Well, we bought something that we ended up giving to other people. So it was like a 6-pack of like spices, and there was like 6 of them or whatever that you can give to people.
Dude, so mothers, you probably gave one to your mom. Oh, she did. Love that.
She actually hated it because she doesn't cook. She doesn't cook with spices, so she's
like, you know that I DoorDash all the time. I don't need this.
She's like, what is this? What am I supposed to do with this? Nutmeg? What's that? Like, what do you do with nutmeg? So, but that did not work out. But yeah, I can't believe my fiance did that. She like found $20 and jacked it basically.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool.
But yeah,
so what was your next spot?
Grenada.
Looks like a tight bus. Yeah, a lot of tight bus.
Oh, the buses were very, very tight. Not as fun to travel on. But let's see. The next stop after Grenada was Barbados. That was So I pretty much already talked about that. I got to take a nap on the beach. There's Pushy Hustlers. I also bought some Cuban rum.
Cuban
rum, and really enjoyed it. Like I really want to buy it again. It was really good.
Went down smooth, huh?
Went down real smooth. So that was good. And then
you don't really hear too much about the Cuban rum.
There's the next. I took a picture of every single towel animal.
I thought this was somebody laying on their stomach with their feet kicked up.
No, I think it's a goose. But yeah. So after that, Barbados. Dominica was next. Like I said, though, that was hit hard by the hurricane. We were there for 45 minutes in and out. Didn't do very much.
Shithole.
Actually, this is what my girlfriend bought with the $20. She bought, so there was 6 different baskets decorated with like local shells and all kinds of stuff. And then inside each basket was a pack of spices that you could give away to people. So,
and how much did this cost?
20. I think it was like 15 or $20 or something. It was like exactly what she needed. And so,
well, probably the lady's kid fucked around on the beach all day, got the fucking Elmer's glue out and put together a couple things. She's making $20 a pop on it.
And this photo's upside down, so I apologize, but you get the idea. That's what was in each basket. So if you just turn your head upside down,
cinnamon, curry, nutmeg,
there's mace, bay leaf, ginger.
I've never had mace pepper bread.
We learned about mace, and they were talking about how it's made, and like really cool stuff. Anyway, let me.
So mace, guys, at home is made in Grenada.
Mace is actually made in Grenada. Yeah.
The more you know.
And these are just some different sunset photos I could show from the cruise.
Oh, bitches love a sunset, male or female. We love a sunset.
Oh yeah, man.
No, but I'm sure being on the cruise and seeing that sunset on the ocean, I bet you that's dope.
Would you ever go on a cruise?
1000%. Absolutely. Once I start my comedy career, I'd love to fucking perform on a cruise.
Definitely a goal then.
Yeah. Would love that.
Actually got a video here.
Very cool. We're kind of getting, hey guys, this is just a Plain Jane Island.
Plain Jane. Yeah, this was still, I think it was Barbados. I don't know where it was. It was one of the islands. But look at that sky, though. You can't deny the sky is not. I don't know if you're into that, but I'm into like how beautiful like skies are.
Well, Mike, being colorblind my whole life, I've never given a fuck about stuff like that.
Foot and mouth. No, man, I walked into that one.
It's all good. I've come to terms with it. What was your next spot, man?
I'm sorry, bro. I want to show you the spot that I'll just show you real quick where I took a shit. Where I took a giant shit. This is where I took my nap on the beach,
right underneath this palm tree.
And that right there, the guy leaning up against the tree, that's the hustler that tried to sell me ticket.
Okay, let me read this real quick. Beach chairs. So he's selling them for $15 a pop, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. One person per chair. You can sit in that chair for $15.
Only one person though. That's really interesting that they have to specify that. There's like no sharing.
Well, you know how many couples were like, we'll just get the one.
Stingray towel.
Yeah. Oh, Stingray towel. Cool. They fucking don't give two shits about Steve Irwin out there.
I'll show you. These are actually some cool. We did some underwater diving.
Okay.
So I actually got to swim.
Shots?
Actually got to swim with some fishes.
Very cool. Wow, you're touching an underwater and an underwater.
Don't know what it is, but it was something that was furry underwater.
Oh, come on, man. That's a hedgehog.
There was like an underground there was like a cell or something. So we took a picture. Oh, I just want to tell you, there was so the helmet that I'm wearing right here, very weird. First of all, I'm a large dude, if you couldn't tell. But
yeah, that looks Wish. That looks like a Wish version.
Yeah. Well, I'm just big for it. I think it's made for an average size person. But
I put it on. That does look like it's made out of cheap material.
When I went down, so they walked us through this whole process. They said, okay, well, when you go down underwater, you're going to feel a sensation. You're going to feel water start to flood your helmet. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stick your chin up immediately because that'll stop the water from entering your helmet. They said if you don't stick your head, tilt your head up, water is going to continue entering your helmet until you can't breathe anymore. And so I'm just like, I'm an anxious person. So like I'm having anxiety, like as I'm about to go down and I start to climb down, I feel the water entering my helmet and I'm just like, I just start panicking under the water a little bit. And then I calm, I'm like, okay, deep breath. I remember what they told me. And then finally I was able to do it. But dude, I felt very weird.
Well, just look at the fucking picture.
And I also had
comfortable.
I also had it in my head that at any point a shark was just going to swim by and just rip us all to fucking shreds.
Oh, hell yeah. That'd be a story to... Oh, I guess you couldn't tell.
Well, I wouldn't be able to tell it, but somebody else would. It would make a cool story for someone else to tell.
Yeah. Mike got chewed to death in Barbados.
The underwater diving thing was actually kind of fun. I think this is the last of the towel animals, but
cool. Let me go ahead and guess this one. That was Bigfoot.
I'm pretty sure it was a platypus.
Oh, okay. I was a little off. Whatever. But that was cool, man. So I'd have to assume that you'll be doing more cruises in the future.
I would love to. I guess this was not an animal, but it was a heart. This was the last one.
Oh, did you make that one yourself?
I didn't. No, I didn't make that.
After all the experience, all the different ones you saw over the 2 weeks, you made one yourself.
I would definitely go back though. Cool. It was a fun time.
Now that says a lot. If you'll do an experience more than once, that says a lot.
This was a couple's photo from the.
Oh, you took that at the deal. Was that after your eye got all fucked?
Was that after your eye? No, that was before. You fucking asshole.
I'm trying to be more compassionate.
Yeah. Well, you're really failing.
I mean, I am.
No. Okay. But no, as I go through, that was it. That's 14-day cruise. We ended up. We also stopped in St. Martin. There was a cool street vendor who did Kristen's hair. And I bought like a cross necklace, which was handmade. Yeah, it was a fun trip, and we just had the one vendors. Storm, just the one. What?
It's just crazy that there's so many different street vendors out there that do your hair.
Yeah, the hair one kind of bothered me because I'm like, Kristen, we don't have time for this. But women, you know how they are. They just got to they want their hair done and stuff. So, but it actually worked out. The vendor was very nice.
You're a good significant other. You fucking put your hands in your pocket and you stood there for a minute.
For more than a minute, but yeah, because it took a while.
Hell yeah.
But it was weird at first because I thought she was going to lead us down like this alleyway because she was like started to walk. She's like, "Oh, follow me," and I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go. This doesn't sound good." Because the vendor saw us and she's like, "Oh, would you like me to do your hair?" And I was like, "No, Kristen, keep walking. Like, just keep walking." She's like, "Oh no, come with me," and so Kristen starts following her, and then I have to start following too because Kristen's following.
Yeah.
But she only turned the corner and was just.
That would have been great if you would have just left her.
I was like, well, peace.
Like, I'll wait here. You'll come back, right?
St. Martin wasn't all that interesting. And then we went to our last stop was Port Canaveral, Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, the home of TNA wrestling.
We actually had this crazy ass idea that after a 14-day cruise, we were then because our stop was in Orlando, we were then going to do Disney World and Universal Studios right afterwards and do this like mega trip. First off, that was a terrible idea. I'm so glad we didn't follow through on that.
Talk about burnout, Jesus.
Dude. Yes. After the 14 days, I was so ready to get off this fucking boat. Like by the 10th day, I was like, okay, I've had my enough. I have had my fill of cruises. Like I'm good for now. Like I think 14 days is a bit much. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're really serious about it.
Final questions. Since I was told about cruises from other people, I've already looked into cruises myself. And that was one of the things in cruise suggestion videos was to not, if you're on a 14-day cruise, to not have something to do every single day. Of the 14 days, how many days did you have some kind of activity? Every day?
No, not every day. We did let some days be, but I mean, pretty close though. Like we usually had a show or something. But every time we were at an island, we pretty much had an activity planned, whether it was that underwater diving thing or the ATVs. We swimming with the Stingray. So we had a bunch of stuff like that.
It seems like you guys did. Yeah, you guys did do a lot of shit.
I mean, so they say vacations are supposed to be relaxing, but like honestly, that one was kind of exhausting. Like I felt like we needed a little small trip after that just to wind down.
Yeah, a quiet trip.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, are we ready to hop into Atlanta?
We pretty much are ready, but I did want to touch on one thing because I didn't really get to talk about it when we were talking about Pigeon Forge and the Smoky Mountains. There's just this cool restaurant I wanted to bring up called Dick's Last Resort.
I've seen t-shirts with that on it.
Have you? Okay, so do you know the concept? Or have you just
I'm pretty sure they have to be fucking nasty to you, don't they?
They just treat you they're just a complete dick to you. And
you went?
Oh, we went. It was so much fun. I had a blast. Like from the moment you walk in, they just treat you like shit. And like for me, like I'm a hardcore introvert and I'm also extremely sarcastic. So like this is my kind of place because the things that they're saying to people are the things that I want to say to people all the time. Like, oh, go get your fucking straw. Okay. So like one of the examples was they asked what all of our drinks were going to be. And so they brought us our drinks and then they just threw the straws in the middle of the table. We're like, well, there they are. Grab them if you want them. And at one point, one of us asked for like ketchup and they put ketchup on a table, like 3 tables from us. Like, here it is. If you're not too lazy to get up and grab it. Like just crazy shit like that. And just like, I don't know, just a bunch of stuff.
Dude, I would have a lot of fun.
Dude, so much fun. Yeah. I highly recommend Dick's Last Resort. They're not just in Pigeon Forge. They're like in several cities across the U.S.
I'm pretty sure there's one in Maryland. I think that's why I've seen one. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Fun thing for sure. But yeah, that's that as far as the traveling goes, I think we touched on everything as I looked. We touched on Vegas. We did kind of skip over. I did go to Disney World and Universal Studios at one point for a couple of days with my family.
No, I think I said something on the Twitter, maybe. I really like this episode. I'm down to do a part 2, travel 2.
Hell yeah. Well, we could even space it out and do it at a later time too. It doesn't have to be right after this one if you didn't want it to be.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe season 2 we'll revisit some more traveling stories, but we will end this episode with Atlanta, Georgia. Have you ever been, Mike?
I have never been to Georgia, I don't think. Nowhere in Georgia.
Oh, hell yeah. So a place I've been and you haven't been there.
I haven't been there.
Okay. Well,
but do I want to go there is the question.
Yes,
I do.
Okay. So the only reason why I've been to Atlanta, Georgia is because my job that I currently have, my day job, we have a warehouse down there and it employs one person. There's no office people. It's just one guy.
Okay.
So sometimes he likes to go on vacation. So somebody from where I live has to go down there and watch over the warehouse, do the daily business. And so last year I volunteered to do that. I did 3 Atlanta trips last year. Each one was 7 days long. It was from a Tuesday to a Tuesday. My job is Monday through Friday, so on the weekends I could do whatever I wanted.
Cool.
So I kind of find myself Googling what the fuck is there in Atlanta. So here's what I have done. I went to the World of Coca-Cola.
Nice. I would like to do that. I'm a big fan of Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay. So you're a Coke guy, not a Pepsi guy?
I love Coke, although I do need to. I don't drink it anymore right now because I'm drinking water because of the weight loss thing. But I do love Coke. Coke's the best.
I will settle for a cherry Coke. But otherwise, Coke can go fuck itself.
Okay. My bad. Okay.
But the World of Coca-Cola, very cool. It's short. It's very short. But the tickets to go into the World of Coca-Cola isn't that bad. But yeah, once you're there, I spent maybe an hour there and I revisited it with my fiance. And once again, spent about an hour there. But after an hour, you're done with it.
I mean, you must have liked it if you had gone again with your fiance, right?
I just wanted her to see it so she knew that it wasn't that big of a deal.
Oh, so it's not, you don't recommend it?
Well, yeah, you can tell somebody all day, like, yeah, you're not in there that long. There's really not much to see. What is in there is cool. Like, they have these specialty bottles that were made for, like, the Olympics in 1996, and that's sitting in some fucking room in there. And
what? So is that just mostly with memorabilia and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, bullshit. I walked up to one of the security officers and I was like, "So when exactly did they stop putting cocaine in the recipe?" And he was like, "Oh, they never did. They never did that. I don't know where you got that from, but that is a fact. They did do that.
They did do that. Yeah. So that guy was talking about.
Nobody that works there, dude, is allowed to talk about that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So right across the street from the World of Coca-Cola is the aquarium. So I knocked that out.
Well, do you get to see any Coca-Cola being made, or it's not that kind of place?
Yeah. There's machines in there running. It kind of shows you can stand there and look through a pamphlet of there's 27 different flavors and this is exactly what it is. Gotcha. Fuck that. Sorry to be such a Coca-Cola hater. I did end up spending $13 on a pop, Coca-Cola pop.
Was it like a big one or what the fuck?
It's just a standard pop. But it was the
a Funko Pop.
Funko Pop, yeah.
Oh, you were saying pop, so I was
you Ohio fuck. You thought I was talking about soda.
Yeah, soda pop.
No, but it's pretty cool. And at that part of Atlanta, don't get me wrong, a lot of Atlanta, very dangerous. You got to stay out of a lot of Atlanta. But where World of Coca-Cola is, where the aquarium is, very safe, very touristy.
That's cool.
But we
you
made
said
our
something was near the Coca-Cola world. You said you went to a place near it too.
Yeah, one of the nice things about if you want to check off a couple things at once, the World of Coca-Cola is right next to the aquarium. So I already had tickets reserved for the aquarium. Go into the aquarium. The coolest thing I think that the aquarium has in Atlanta is the I guess they have a whale.
A whale?
Yeah.
Oh, inside the aquarium.
Sure. They got 2 of them.
That's a big aquarium.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was made from I guess the people who own Home Depot made this aquarium. I guess they
brought to you by Home Depot.
Yeah. Well, so, hey, I'm glad that Home Depot made that aquarium because at least I know that it was made right. Like you're not going to be walking underneath the tunnel so you can see in the so there's a tunnel in there and you can see the water and everything. Sharks swimming over top of you and stuff like that. At least I know Home Depot made that shit.
Yeah.
So it's not going to burst. No, very cool. Alligators, whatnot. It's your standard aquarium. It's the only aquarium I've ever been, so it's pretty standard to me.
Kristen and I went to an aquarium here in Chicago. It was pretty cool. They had like penguins and that kind of stuff, and they didn't have any whales though.
Well, Chicago has the zoo too, right?
Yeah, but I've never been to the zoo.
From my understanding, they have an impressive zoo. There's a zoo in Atlanta as well. I will have to see that this summer.
Would you go back to Atlanta?
1000%. I will be going back to Atlanta this year. One of my goals this year is to do stand up in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a huge comedy scene in Atlanta and the surrounding areas. So I'm hoping to get a little experience down there.
Cool, man. Sounds good. I hope you do.
The hotel that I stayed at, I was in a town right outside of Atlanta called Tucker, Georgia. The hotel that they put me in, the company that I work for, they put me in they didn't do the research, which how really can you research hotels? Like, what are you fucking researching? Are you Wikipediaing the crime rate?
You gotta look at the reviews at the very least.
Sorry, you broke up there.
I said you gotta look at the reviews at the very least.
Yeah, well, I mean, they just put me in some fucking Holiday Inn. On my third trip there, it's my first day in Atlanta. I know that I have work. I wake up at 6 a.m. getting ready and all that. By 6:30, I'm out the door at least to go down to the lobby to get a coffee. I walk out of the lobby. There's a police officer.
Oh.
He's like, "Hey, is there any reason, like any good reason you have to go ahead and leave your room right now?" And I was like, "I do have work here in an hour. What's up? What's going on?"
That's weird.
Apparently, there was a lady of the night, a prostitute, who was in the parking lot overnight doing her thing, making a couple extra bucks. I guess
living.
Sure. Hey, brother, back about 100 years ago, there was tons of women who were doing this all the time.
Yeah.
Perfectly legal.
Yeah, the good old days.
And this bitch wishes it was still those days. But
me too, man. Me too.
I guess the situation went awry and she was shot in the parking lot.
No. Well, shot by a police officer?
No, by the guy she was trying to service.
Oh, service. Yeah.
It's a service. Service with a smile.
What kind of services did she offer?
I think she was very hands-on.
Oh, good. Good.
No, but she was in the lobby of it happened in the car in the parking lot. She is now in the lobby talking to the police officer, writing down her statement. Bleeding from her leg. She was shot in the thigh.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude, hardcore bitch. She stuck around. She's writing down her police statement.
She put a Band-Aid on that bitch and still went to work afterwards. She was like, I'm still open for business. Let's go.
It was the most impressive thing I've ever seen in person. She got into the police car afterwards. I heard the conversation. They weren't taking her to like a station or anything like that. They were taking her just downtown Atlanta, was going to drop her off near an alley.
Near an alley? Just
what? They wasn't even going to take her to the hospital. She refused any kind of assistance, wanted to be dropped off downtown.
After being shot?
Absolutely.
Crazy bitch.
Yeah.
She goes hard.
I kind of wanted to have breakfast with her. Just
pick her brain.
Pick her brain. Yeah.
Like, so tell me about your stories. You must have had a pretty hard life.
Yeah. But yeah. If you go to Atlanta, please be careful. It's just like any other city. But highly recommend.
I would like to go. I'd like to go to a whole bunch of places. In fact, wouldn't mind. Oh, in fact, well, I'd like to know about where you would like to visit outside of the U.S. Like, where would you like to go? You know, bucket list places.
I got it. I already know.
Where is it?
I already know, Mike. Huh? Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
That's where they filmed the Trailer Park Boys.
Really?
Yeah, after watching every season of the Trailer Park Boys, I feel very connected to that series. I grew up in a trailer, so I'd ultimately like to retire to Nova Scotia, live in a trailer park somewhere out there.
I feel so stupid. Where is Nova Scotia on a map? I couldn't.
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
that makes sense now that you said that.
I'm so sorry for my Canadian listeners. I shouldn't have done that.
That was extremely disrespectful.
It was cringe, is what it was.
Yeah, it was terrible. That's very unwoke of you.
I love ending the show on a woke note.
On a woke note, as all podcasts should be ended. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Do you have any final questions about Atlanta? Anything you want to touch on before we take it home? Episode 6.
I'm interested in that prostitute, and if anybody was able to get her number.
Nah, I don't have anything else material wise on that prostitute. I should write some more though.
Well, we'll figure it out after the show. See if she's still out there somewhere. But no, in closing, like all I want to, we're going to touch on this. I'm sure if we do a travel part 2 next season or something like that, we might have more stories to touch on. Because I didn't realize we would have so much material to cover so much of a show. I really didn't know that we would. But there's stories we could even go into, like, because when I say travel, that could be road stories. Like, you're traveling to a wrestling show, stories on the road. That could all kinds of things. So I'm thinking we can really dive deeper if we wanted to on it.
And originally, whenever I was writing for the show, I had a section of small towns I wanted to mention, but then I cut it out.
And I got a bunch of stuff too. So I mean, there's stuff we can cover, just fun little road stories and that kind of thing. But as far as places I would like to travel in the future, I have a bucket list myself. Japan, like literally, probably Tokyo, but I don't know, somewhere in Japan. I'd love to go there.
See, all of the travel videos I've seen on like a Japan or like a super foreign language country. I'm so fucking West Virginia. It's unreal. These places that mainly
those places that aren't West Virginia, that across the ocean, the other places that aren't our country.
No, the travel videos I've seen though, it is there's a lot of things that you have to know about these other countries. If you're going to go to a Japan, you better watch all the videos.
Yeah, learn about the culture, because there's things that are okay here that are not okay other places, and
1000%.
Yeah, and things that you wouldn't think of, like the dumbest, stupidest thing. Like there's places that you can go to jail for just having a Bible on you. Like something like that. You can get in trouble for doing something weird, like that's not part of their customs or whatever. But
and keep in mind, a lot of these countries fucking hate United States.
Oh yeah, a lot of them do. But you know what? There's also some cool cultures. Like I don't know if it's Japan or Asian culture as a whole, but it's actually considered rude to clean your plate. Like when you're eating a meal at someone's house, it's actually considered rude because it's saying that it wasn't enough. Like
I've heard that.
Yeah. So like you weren't satisfied because it wasn't enough food.
Yes. And burping. You should burp.
You should burp because that's like, I enjoyed the meal. I enjoyed the meal. So like anytime I'm eating here, I burp. I'm like, Kristen, I enjoyed the meal. Thank you.
I would just hope that I had one of those like garbage disposal burps, one of those unnatural sounding burps, like ah.
But apparently it's real normal for people just to leave a little bit of food on the plate as like a sign of respect, saying, I enjoyed the meal, but it was so filling I couldn't eat another bite. Like that's what it means to them. So
that's cool.
Cool little stuff like that is the kind of tidbits you'd want to learn before going to a place. But yeah, I'd love to go to Japan. Ireland would be another cool one. London, Paris, Germany.
If I ever went to Ireland, I don't want to fucking go. Sorry.
No, dude.
I know that's where my people is. I get it.
Yeah, probably where your people is. Yeah.
I have never in my entire life gotten along with somebody with red hair, pale skin, freckles like me. Never had a friend.
Not once.
Never. They're just assholes, dude. A lot of these gingers, they think that like the world is out to get them, and
they're just a bunch of potato eaters.
I've never been like that, mate.
You're not a true potato eater.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just not.
That's my best Irish. No, I'm part Irish, so it'd be cool to go there and eat some of the local food. You know what else is interesting to me? I would like to go visit the concentration camps.
Okay.
Whatever's left of them. I've always been fascinated by the Holocaust. I'd love to go visit and just experience that firsthand. So that would be kind of cool. And then to cap off my list of places I'd like to go to is Rome, Italy, Greece, literally anywhere in Greece, Caribbean, Alaska, and Hawaii.
Just fucking say all the places.
And Hawaii and Maryland and Montana and North Dakota and South Dakota.
Connecticut seems cool.
Yeah, Connecticut, totally, and Pennsylvania, and also Indiana, but also Iowa.
You've already been to Pennsylvania, you fuck.
Yeah, I know. No, I named my high. There's tons of places I'd love to go, but I named the ones that are at the tippy top.
That's cool. That's cool, man. Hey, you're a very ambitious guy.
Fuck yeah. But I had fun. I can tell you that much. I had some fun talking about some of the travel stories. I didn't even know I'd get into the eye story, but I actually kind of like telling that eye injury story now. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
It's if you don't laugh, you cry.
That's so true. Even if you have one eye, you cry.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 6. Remember, you can follow the Do4 brand at the Do4 brand on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. We're everywhere. And thank you so much for all of the support and for our newfound fan base in the United Kingdom, because I do watch the statistics of the show. Thank you for listening as well. We're really branching out here.
Hell yeah, man. Worldwide.
And for Travis Dufour and Mike Yatsko, have a great night and see you next time.
See you guys. Daddy.
Can we just redo the whole thing right now?
Yeah, I don't like how that went. I thought that show was kind of embarrassing, to say the least. One of our worst.
In the wrestling business, we call it the drizzling shits.
Oh, yeah. And that I really didn't like your performance in that. I thought you were weak, not confident. And I just really would think we should call this show the Mike Yatsko Show.
I'm down with that. I'm never going to financially recover from this.
You are listening to the Travis Dufour after show, where we
the first time on the after show that I'm fucking here.
Yeah, you're actually here live. You're not rushing off to piss, although I'm sure you will.
Dude, I have to piss so bad.
Just go do it. I'll take over.
All right.
This guy disappeared. Just leave the door open. We'll watch. No, I'm just kidding. Or eliminate him. He's out of here. Get out of here. It's all me now. But yeah, we like to chat it up with, if anybody's still watching and you would like to chat with us, we interact with the chat during the after show and talk about some stuff. Hope you enjoyed listening to the travel episode. This was a fun one. You know, we spent 5 episodes on the docuseries of independent wrestler Travis Dufour. Got to go on a journey of his career from his days as a wrestling fan to then backyard wrestling, his transition to professional wrestling, and then of course his injury and, you know, the reason why he had to step away from wrestling. But yeah, so it's been quite a ride. And now we're actually into the meat and potatoes, as they say, with the different topics. And yeah, so I mean, if anybody, where have you traveled to? Where have you been? Where's the coolest spot you've vacationed to, or the coolest place that you've been to? I'd be interested to know that and hear about an experience you might have had. Have you been on a cruise before? Have you been to any of the places that we mentioned? You know, there's a lot of different places to go. There's so much. We're actually planning a trip to Disney World later this year, because I went with my family back in 2012 and I only spent literally one day in Magic Kingdom. Didn't get to see the Animal Kingdom or any of the other ones that, you know, Hollywood Studios, whatever the other parks are called. Didn't see those. So this time we'll be doing a more of an extended stay, getting a chance to see more of Disney World. No Universal Studios this time, but I think we're doing 5 days in Disney World, so that'll be kind of cool. Me and the fiance, and gonna get to finally check out Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge. That'll be pretty cool. That's coming up in November.
Oh, guys, more Star Wars.
Oh, I love Star Wars. It's so cool. Let's get you back in the first position because you're such a fucking mark for yourself. There you go.
Thank you.
I don't know why I said that. I apologize. I'm so rude.
So were we on YouTube for this?
We were on YouTube and Twitch. We were streaming on both. I did check at one point before we went live with the show that YouTube was working.
Okay, so okay, cool. YouTube's good. Cool.
YouTube was working. I never checked Twitch, but I'm sure Twitch was also working.
Folks at home, just an update on the growth of everything. We had 3 YouTube shorts go viral. No, not viral. They're not viral.
Millions and millions. Billions and billions.
If you go to the YouTube, the Do For brand YouTube, you will see that there are 3 shorts on there that have thousands of views. How did this happen? I don't fucking know. The algorithm? Don't understand it. But dude, they take our clips that we post on there and shoot them to the moon. So I don't mind.
I was just seeing if Kristen was home. I was checking the notifications to see if she opened up the garage door.
You must check the garage door.
And she did. She opened it. She's home. She's home.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the pre-show or the
pre-show. The show hasn't even started yet. Fuck.
I was asking if we could redo it.
Let's redo it. What do you think about the show? How it went? We had no prep. I mean, not that I didn't prep. I prepped my own notes, but we didn't have one day prep together.
It was nice doing a show that was not a part of a docuseries. It wasn't a part 3, 2, 4, 5. Like, holy shit. You know, it was nice to just, this was nice.
Yeah. Kind of like just a conversation, just talking about experiences.
We didn't talk at all this week.
Yeah, we were supposed to twice, Wednesday and Thursday. It just didn't pan out both times.
Yeah, we didn't talk at all this week, and boom, we just and that's what I like about having kind of an open-ended show. You know, 2 episodes that I can think of in my head right now are episodes that that need written. So it was nice to have a show where we didn't exactly have to write it and have it so formatted.
Because the Melanie one will need written pretty.
Melanie will, and our Burnout Media one will.
Yeah. Yep. And we're saving Burnout Media one for one of the last ones, right?
Yeah.
Because we need time to gather some stuff.
We do. Maybe we could even do it after your move.
That would probably be best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy with how the show went off, and did that work out? Sharing some of the photos?
I thought it looked good. I thought it looked very acceptable.
Any of the stories were like, I'm trying to think any of the stories I told were, I never got to that WWE show, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Episode part two.
Any stories that I told that were somewhat interesting, you think, in a podcast format?
I thought it all was. There wasn't. Yeah.
Did the eye story come across? Okay.
Yeah, that was not a travel story, but that was great.
Well, I mean, it was travel. I was traveling.
That's true. You were in the middle of traveling. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was fair game.
I completely take back what I just said.
That's right. That's fucking right. We had three viewers at one point. For a bit.
Yeah, I was I've been kind of dissecting the statistics for Twitch too, and we've grown since we started the show. For anybody who does watch the replay, watches the after show and all that, right here's a little tidbit for you that won't be announced on social media. Well, it may, but it may take a couple weeks to announce this. Mike will actually not be available here in a couple weeks. For
having one my tits redone.
Yeah, he needs his tits redone. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm having my tits redone. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. So
I didn't like how they came out the last time. They're going to do some correction and get them perkier. So
Hollywood really fucked with you, didn't it?
Dude, I am just so excited to have perky boobs. That's
you're plastic as fuck.
I'm all plastic, head to toe, plastic.
But Well, with that being said, Mike's got to get his titties fixed. So there's going to be a Friday that he's not here. And on that Friday, we will introduce a new aspect to the Travis Dufour show, and that is the guest aspect.
Yeah, and you'll be bringing on live strippers, right?
He used to be a stripper. Yeah. If we want him to strip, I'm sure he will. His name's Zach Rain.
Well, we don't want him to strip. Let's just make that clear. We don't want it. I don't.
Me. Yeah.
Just yeah. Maybe I'll call. Maybe Jorge Chavez will call in that episode.
Oh, I would do anything for a call-in system.
Oh, that's right. We don't have anything set up for that.
That would be cool.
You guys got any of that Samson's down there at your Home Depot store? You know, Samson's. It's in a pretty yellow container.
You're ridiculous.
We should do a late. Honestly, would you ever do late nights on the mic again? In the future? I'm not talking anytime soon, but in the future.
Originally, this was supposed to be that.
But late nights on the mic, for me, the way I remember it, is way more just off the cuff. Like, way less planning, not formatted, just kind of like, yeah, we have some stuff to talk about, but way more off the cuff.
Well, once we decided on 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time, once we decided on that, I knew I couldn't call it late nights on the mic. But that was the original idea behind this show.
Yeah.
But
would you ever do a more edgier show and have it be called late nights on the mic? Is that something that you would ever, or not really? That's not like
at this stage of my career, since I'm trying to make things happen soon. No.
You son of a bitch.
Now the Travis Dufour show is absolutely 100% allowed to be edgy. I mean, we
actually have been getting edgier as the episodes have gone on.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I liked about the show, and that's one of the reasons why I agreed. Well, not that I agreed, but that's one of the reasons why I created the show, was to have an unfiltered avenue.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely cutting loose in that sense as far as having the unfiltered aspect. 3 hours and 9 minutes. It's officially
the perfect time to fucking stop it right now.
Hell yeah, man. We did a good show, good length. I'm surprised actually at the length. I thought this was going to be like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah?
That's what I was thinking.
I was keeping time. I kept looking over at the time, and I don't know. I kind of had a feeling about 25 minutes in that this was going to be a long one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I was like, hey, all bets are off. I'm going to take as much time as I want on each one of these.
Yeah, I felt like same here. I was kind of just taking my time with it.
Fucking A. No restrictions, man.
But as all good things, they must come to an end. Even the Travis Dufour after show. We encourage everybody to like, follow, comment, subscribe, all those wonderful things on all the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, at the Dufour brand. We are literally everywhere. Same handle everywhere, at the Dufour brand. We are live streaming every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, the Travis Dufour show. And then we always do an after show. And you said we might even do a pre-show at some point. Potentially.
Yeah. We could introduce it season 2. We could introduce it season 2. We could go ahead and start doing that. It really all depends on us. Well, it all depends on what episode too, because it's like if we do tell people, hey, there's going to be a pre-show now, but then we run it to the wire like we have before.
That probably is a season 2. Because like I said, if I didn't have this move going on, I wouldn't have all the crazy shit. You know, it'd be a different ball game.
True.
I mean, I'm literally packing every single day. When I get off this call, I'm probably going to pack some more stuff in my office. So that's my life now.
That's cool, man. Hey, everybody!
I got boxes everywhere. I got boxes back there, stuff.
Everybody that watches this show, please wish Mike a safe and the least hectic move ever, because we all know how moving can be hectic.
Moving sucks. Yeah, June 4th, I'll be moving to Ohio, and then hopefully it's smooth sailing from there.
You're going home.
Yeah, I'm excited though.
Your family is so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, I am too, because you'll be a little bit closer, about 5 hours away.
Yeah, we'll have to plan for a meetup at some point for sure.
Yeah.
But this has been the after show. Why don't you close out? That's your own fucking after show. You close it out, bitch.
I don't know why you had to say bitch, but yes, for Travis, for Mike, that is the end. Please watch us live, twitch.tv/the Do4brand, or you can watch us on YouTube now. And that's it. Have a great night.